Welcome everyone, we are back. It is Super Millions time. It is that big final table each week, 10K buy-in Sunday. Final table today. We have got special players, special guests joining me as well today. We're going to introduce my man Beriuzy into the mix today as we play for huge purse and some of the biggest, brightest stars in the game. My man Beriuzy, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Jeff. It's an honor.
Hey, it's great. I got to watch you at this final table not many weeks ago, and you put on a good show. Obviously, one of the most prolific Twitch streamers out there right now. So if you guys aren't familiar with my man Ryan right here, give him a follow. We'll get into his social media and all that good stuff. But let's dive right into the action. I know this is a high final table. I mean, look at the names. This is some of the biggest, brightest stars in the game. So this is a treat today. Let's go dive into that feature final table, and we will play to a winner today. And let's take a look at who we got. I'm sure you recognize some of these guys. Have you taken a look already at the layout, Beriuzy?
Oh yeah. We got some real gangsters on this final table.
It's gonna be fun. It is gonna be a lot of fun. I know that I personally have played with a lot of these guys. I know online you battle with them. You play the Super Millions often. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the feature table. Let's just dive right into the action and see what we got. I know these guys are ready to play, and we're ready to fire it off here. So let's go and take a look.
All right.
There it is. As we see a massive name right in the big blind. He has got 5 Super Million titles. I mean, that's crazy. We got Steven Chidwick, we got Elias Parzinian, and we've got some other huge names, David Peters and Archer, though, with 5 Super Millions titles. I mean, that is really insane. I think no one else here has more than, if I'm not mistaken, there might be, everyone, there's a few winners here, but no one has won more than 2 at this feature final table. So who's your money on today based on the stacks and the ability here? Who do you pick to win?
It's a pretty difficult pick because we have some players that really go for it, and they're all pretty terrifying, to be honest. You know, there's David Peters, you have Chidwick, Artur, of course, Thomas Mullecker, Rodrigo Selwan. All these players really go for the wins, and they're extremely aggressive. So if I had to pick, honestly, I like going for someone that has a lot of experience in these situations, which is Artur. Obviously, he's a big winner for a very long time. But I think there's also the unknown factor of one of the players, the retour au lobby, which means back to lobby in English. No one knows who he is, and I just like the underdogs. You know, I have a feeling about him just shocking us for some reason.
Okay, so you got, we are going to do a snake draft. We will make a pick on who wins. Of course, the audience at home, we're going to give a $50 ticket on GGPoker, and it could be 100 depending if you get the winner. We will give a few bonuses of players, but let's go ahead and start right into it. Red or black, you choose the flop, and then we'll do our own snake draft. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Go ahead, choose red or black, so we just get that out of the way and we can get our picks going.
Let's go for red. I'm wearing red. Gotta go for red.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. So, all right, we'll take a look at that next flop. I want to welcome everyone. Let us know where you're watching from. And I think that we are actually in one of the most star-studded final tables that we have seen. I think this is definitely some superpowers, some of the biggest live crushers in the game. And this is something early. I think we're going to see.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be seeing a flop. That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't like my chances when he has 2 red cards.
Wow. Yeah, and this is queens to queen 10 suited. Pretty nice spot for Retour, but as we know, anything can happen. There's a 10 and there is a black flop, so needs to fade a 10, 2 outer on the river, or else we will have an elimination and we will lose the great Stevie Chidwick, and that is going to be it. He does choose the jam on the open from Artur, and would have been interesting with 8s what Artur does. Probably would have called, I guess, with his stack in this situation, pretty high up in the range. But Stevie Chidwick, 6 million plus in live, in GG earnings alone online. We know obviously his live resume, one of the top most earning players in the world, and often regarded as one of the best poker players, tournament players in the world. So tough to see Stevie go so early right off the bat. We are down to 8-handed, and I guess I get to pick first, correct? It's my pick because I won the color. So I'm going to go with Artur. How can you not? The guy's got 3 million, basically the chip lead, 5 titles, looking for a 6. So I'll take that. You get 2 picks here.
I'm going to take for Thomas Mullecker. I really think he's a very solid player. And my second pick, I think I'm gonna go for David Peters. He
Wow,
he
just
knocked me out in
totally
the World
disregard.
Series earlier this summer.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, listen, two amazing picks. You're just kind of disregarding the chips, which I respect that. Like you're just going with your gut. I'm gonna go with D Miss. They want to give me the hardest names. You know what I'm saying? Miss. How would you pronounce that? Miss Kikowski. Miss Kikowski.
Misakowski.
There he is. Miss
Misakowski. Yeah.
Kikowski. Look at that. That's how that does
Yeah.
sound. That rolls off your tongue better. I will look at that impressive GG Poker resume, number 77 overall. So I'll take my man there, and I will also take I'm gonna go with the Brazilian. I'm biased to Brazil. Wife's Brazilian, son's half Brazilian. That's my next two. Go ahead. You got two as well.
I'll go for Roturo Lobby. Obviously, now that I see he just won a big pot, and Elis.
Mm-hmm. My man, Elis, unbelievable player. He's at the front of a bit of controversy. We did see him sort of shed light. There was a tournament. I think he was playing a W Coupe event. He then was on a day two. He was over at Rosvedov playing World Series events. He was in a live final table or featured table where you can't be at the feature with your phone. So he was kind of caught in a double whammy. A bit unfortunate situation. Obviously, guy who's known for unbelievable character and one of the great players in the game. So I hope that situation gets cleared up. Looks like there was a bit of unfortunate timing, and I think he actually won the online event as well, and then did cash
Yeah.
for a big score in the live one. I don't know if you have any other context on that, but it just seems like a bit of an unfortunate thing that he obviously, in my mind at least, was doing nothing that he thought was wrong, or just kind of got pushed into a weird situation where he wasn't aware of the the jurisdictions. That's basically the information that I have. I don't know if you have any other context on that.
Yeah. Well, I saw the thread on 2+2 and I saw what he posted. I think it's a very unlucky situation he found himself in because he basically played the tournament in Finland, then went to Rosvadov in Czech Republic and played the final day on his phone. From my understanding, usually if you play from your phone, sometimes your IP is still from your home country. So it might not tell you that you can't play or something like that, and then he ends up winning the tournament. It's only because he was on TV that someone brought up like, hey, you can't play from there. It's very unfortunate. I think you technically the rules are that you can play from the Czech Republic, but you need to be like have an account on their specific website, and that's like a very peculiar thing. Like it's hard to figure that type of stuff out on your own. um
Right.
I really don't know what should have happened in this case or not. He did admit for breaking the rules of Rosvadov, where they said you can't have a phone on a live stream table, and he was kind of like under the table, hiding it. But he's playing for 110,000 or something, so like it makes sense for someone
Right.
to do anything they can. But yeah, just really
Well, see,
unfortunate. I'm curious what's going to end up happening.
my thought is like it's just very apparent that he wasn't trying to do anything wrong, right? Like he's not like he's hiding out in some place or VPNing and staying quiet and staying somewhere else. Like he went to the World Series, he's in the tournament. He realizes people see him there, so like he's obviously not trying to break the rules, right? He's not like he's in like playing live events in a place and it was like a day two. So I think that that seems very clear to me. But again, just this is something where the guy has a lot of character, integrity, and people around him, from what I understand, that know him better. Even I just don't think there's any ill will, malicious intent, and hopefully the situation gets resolved. But it does seem like a bit of a unique
Yeah.
situation, as we saw a light jam from Elis get it through ace-4 suited, kind of a standard spot, but one that takes a risk, picks up the chips, and gets a fold. So good start for Elis, 1.1 million. Stacks kind of tight. No one's super short, and then we see that Artur and Misakowski have around 3 million. So sharing the chip lead. And do we
Mhm.
still have more picks to make? Did I make? That's it, right? So we had. Is that we did?
I think you
I
get
did one.
Mr.
I get
Gbin
one
at
more,
the
right?
end.
Mr. Gbin.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
get the last.
strong.
Yeah, Mr. Gbin. Yeah,
Yeah, usually there's
yeah.
9, but we had already lost
Um,
Chidwick and Mr. Gbin from Austria. Tough, tough. Those flags, man. I'm telling you, Austria. I got so much. They just seem scary. I don't think I've met an Austrian that's not a pretty damn good poker player. So let's see what he's got. I'm
yeah,
not as familiar with
very
his
true.
game, but let's have some fun. Have you played with any of these guys more than others?
I've played a lot with Seluan, Elis, of course. Elis had
Yeah.
3%, I think, of my final table 3 weeks ago when I was supposed to be the guest on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Got my way out of it somehow. But I've played, yeah, like all these guys are very familiar. Dimiskowski is a very good player as well. I think obviously like he has a lot of chips. I just whoever you put in first place, I probably just won't go for them. I always like the underdog. Maybe if Miskowski had less chips, I would have been like, that's my first pick, because I met the guy in World Series and he's a funny guy. Watches the stream a bit, so I am rooting for him secretly, but like kind of deep down. And
Yeah.
the only person I really don't recognize is Returo Lobby. That's just really curveball. We have no idea who it is. What I
Yeah,
find
I think
interesting is the seating. Um, if you look at, I think when the table started, Dean Misakowski and Artur were in first and second, but they've avoided each other. Usually, the chip leader always goes to the left of the second. Not always, but most of the time, because they want to put pressure. You want position on the second best player, well, second highest stack. But they've kind of like avoided that on purpose, it seems. I'm assuming Misakowski is the one who chose the last seat because he's first, and he did not sit on the left of Martur. So always interesting to see like why people make these decisions.
Yeah, what are your thoughts with the seating arrangement? I love GG. I'm biased, right? I am biased, but the best software, best place to play, biggest prize pools, no question about it. The leader by far in the industry at the moment, and I know obviously you're with GG as well. Like we're in the right spot, and just tell me a little about some of the features and the functionality, and what about that final table? Because you make a lot of them, as we know. You're a world class poker player. Just had 3 WCOOP titles, I believe. One of only a 6th player to ever do that. Congrats on that as well.
Thanks.
What do you think about the table selection? Because that is unique as well. I don't really see that where you can choose your seat at the final table. Can you
Yeah,
explain that process? Is it by chip stack? Does the biggest stack get to go last, or how
exactly.
does it work?
Yeah. So the last in chips usually starts picking his seat first, right? So in a way, it's kind of giving more advantage for someone being the chip leader, which makes the bubble even more interesting because you really want to finish, make the final table as chip leader. So that's why you see a lot of aggression, you see a lot of punts on the final table bubbles, and people want to have the final say because they get to dictate a lot on how the final table is going to go. So that's one feature that I really, really like because, everyone is playing these tournaments to win. And if there's a little advantage that you can get from playing more aggressive and going into the final table as chip leader, of course you're going to take it. Now, what makes this really cool feature as well is when you're in like 4th or 5th place or 3rd place, you sometimes know like how these top 2 stacks are going to pick their seats. And you can kind of
Yeah.
mess with it. Like sometimes you can take a seat knowing that that person will never, come sit on your left or something like that. And I had a situation like this too. No, sorry, it was 4 weeks ago when I final tabled it. I think I was in 3rd in chips, and I was like overthinking it like crazy. Like I want to sit here because I don't want Artur. Actually, he was on the final table too. I didn't want him to be on my left. He ended up being on my left and just made my life miserable.
For sure. Yeah. No, there's definitely some game theory there. Also, everyone gets a chess clock. It looks like everyone has a decent been some thinking. A lot of people already at 10 minutes. I believe it's a 15-minute clock here. And what a river for my man. And you see a blocker
Mhm.
bet go out here. Ace Queen has hit Jin on the river after an interesting flop with the diamond, 2 diamonds in his 1 diamond in his hand. Ace Queen definitely could have got up to no good on some turn cards. As it turns out, the 9, he decides to check back and then realizes equity, hits a pretty electric queen on the river. Let's see if he's able to go for some extra value or just call. Board's a little dicey. He does have the ace of hearts though, right? So if he raises, he just knows he can't get re-raised and maybe go for some thin value against king queen or something else. I like this
Mhm.
raise. What do you think? Is that mandatory there?
I think it's a good raise. Yeah. I'm assuming it went flat from the small blind pre-flop, c-bet flop, and check check. And then
Yes. Check, check,
it's
turn.
with
Yep.
the ace of hearts, you kind of have a lot of protection in a way, like knowing it's very unlikely for your opponent to re-raise. Also, there's not many hearts that flat from the small blind in this case, so king 10 of hearts is like the only flat, right? So like that's just one combo. So you can rule out a lot of flushes from your opponent's range. Maybe 8-7 of hearts very rarely, and like 10-8 of hearts. But most of the time, you're up against a hand exactly like this or king queen. And wow, he actually
Um,
gets called on
you
the
know,
river.
I love even more about that raise is like he has the ace of hearts, right? Those are the likely bluffs, right? Is like that he has the ace of hearts with
Hmm.
ace king, no, with not the flush. So like when he actually has the queen there and how the hand played, it's pretty sneaky, and I can't blame Mr. Jeevan for calling. But what a nice bet there, and a nice pickup, good sizing, and really well executed hand
Yeah.
for our now chip leader with a healthy lead, 4.1 million. Nicely done. Nice hand.
It's very good that he like realized he can still raise for value there. Obviously, you need to do this type of things on final tables like this when everyone's very, very good. You got to take every little thin situation. Like sometimes you see people skip those spots on other types of final tables, but you have a stacked final table. You can't pass up on those.
Yeah, this is
Gotta
I mean, it's
find
just
this with
fine. We
blind
mentioned
pocket.
a couple of players have been mentioned already. I mean, this is like pure quality. You are getting a treat today. You mentioned Thomas there. The other got the Austria flag up top. He is definitely one of the toughest players in the world. Some of the best results, and he is definitely sitting pretty okay with the million. I mean, no one's super short. There's a lot of play today. We're down to 8. We saw that Stevie Chidwick ran into a buzzsaw there. Queen 10 of hearts jammed into queens of Ritor, but the so far there is definitely, David Peters is on the shorter stack, 7-9 here as we see him in the big blind, in a lot of trouble. He's got open ended, but not against a good hand. Neither player really has anything. Let's see what our friend Ritor goes with. But yeah, I gotta ask you about your. Oh, he's going for it. Look at this. He's got a spade. He's got the
Yeah.
queen, and he's putting pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, he,
Nicely
he
done.
just has a range advantage in these spots with the ace on the turn. Gets to just barrel. Has a little decent blocker. 7 of spades blocks some of the flats from David Peters that have really good, like, slow plays, flopped flushes. Blocks queen jack, also kind of important. So I think if David Peters had like a 10, 10-7 of hearts, 10-9, jack 10 there, he's in a pretty tough situation on the turn without a spade. This is looks like David Peters is going to win this pot nearly always.
Yeah, nice spot.
99.9999.
Yeah, there's a misclick, right? They have to almost go misclick and then get there.
That's
That
true.
would be
There's
the
the
scenario.
disconnects. Yeah, there's
There's
definitely
it's
the
never. Hey, I
disconnects
always
as
say that.
well.
I say that all the time. Nothing like 0 or 100, right? It really, it's not until stuff's
Yeah.
over or concluded. There's always a chance. What's your favorite tournament to play online? Obviously, you are a streamer that has become sort of risen very quickly. What is the best tournaments you feel online right now to play? Like, what's your favorite tournament each week to play online?
Honestly, every Sunday I'm playing this 10K. I really like the structure, like the field. You're basically playing against some of the best players in the world all the time, and that makes it a lot more competitive and tricky. And I just love um, competition. I want to battle. I want to either be in tough spots and make the right decision, or put people in tough spots. There's not many tournaments out there that get me as excited. Like, this is the tournament I'm always trying to satellite in, or even if I don't satellite in, I'm just buying straight into it. I love it. And I had a goal earlier this year. I really wanted to win this tournament this year. I think I have 2 final tables, a lot of final table bubbles. Just can't finish in the top 3 yet. I'm going to be playing the next 3-4 weeks for sure. Give it one last try.
What?
And
So the audience
yeah,
out
I think
there, we love the
sorry. Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was just realizing about the satellite style. Do you buy in directly, or do you normally satellite, or what are the best satellites out there, and what's the lowest that people can come in for? What's the lowest satellite option in this tournament?
Um, they they have a daily $525 buy-in and a daily 1,050. I usually start them and play them all the time. On Sundays they have 10 and 15 seat guarantees, I believe. Those with $1,000 buy-in. Those are really, really good value because a lot of people either satellite into that satellite and it makes it really good value, or closer to the bubble, there's a lot of mistakes with ICM. So you end up kind of winning a seat when you should never, because someone else just can't fold pocket kings on the pure bubble, and you're just watching like, yes, yes, get the money in, get sucked out on. You just make 10K and you enter the tournament.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
So yeah, that's
satellites
what
are
I'm.
fun. They're definitely fun and good value. We're seeing some action here. We see the flat ace 10 suited, definitely in a tough spot. Thomas is got the wheel
Yeah.
spinning, ace five off, but does decide to give it up. And look at
Oh,
this.
that's a spicy
Man,
flop.
Elis, this is
That's a spicy
super
flop.
spicy.
This is very interesting. Um, I could see a check raise and get in, or just a c bet and a get in. I think Elis might also opt the flat here. There's two shorter stacks, but he just has a lot of equity as well. That's kind of an action killer. King Queen gets there. A lot of Ace 8, King 8. Like Misakowski's opening really wide on a cutoff here. He's gonna have probably every Queen 8 suited combo, King 8 as well, King Queens as well. Like obviously, just a lot of hands that get there. Aces is in a pretty tough spot now because they don't really beat much. They lose a lot of two pairs. Elis might even flat just tens pre-flop. Yeah, at some frequency because you don't really want to get in 30 bigs always there. Um, I do think we can rule out tens at a pretty high frequency though, because it's Misakowski is going to be opening the cutoff so wide that you can start three betting much wider for value, even though there's two slightly shorter stacks. So I think tens would have three bet pre-flop. Now it's just obviously Elis gets there. He's very happy about it.
Yeah, this is
Really
wow.
interesting. I do like this bet actually because now he beats some hands, like he counterfeits some jack tens. But I think it's a bit too thin for Misakowski. But Elis is gonna have queen jack, king jack, some ace jack. His king queen always bets the turn, right? So in a way, aces is ahead of a lot of Elis's range. So I think pretty interesting spot. You can go thin there if you expect your opponent to be calling really wide. Got a question
Yeah,
in
it's
chat.
very interesting.
Someone's asking what the early stage of this tournament is like. Um, well, if you watch the lobbies, you're gonna see some people are buying in 5, 6 bullets, before the late registration is even done. And usually, when you see something like that, you just know that it's very aggressive because people are just blasting in huge bluffs, making really, big hero calls. In general, early stages in this tournament, you'll have a table where you have like 5, 6 players that are willing to put in 5 bullets, and like 2 or 3 that are just playing it, one entry. So it creates an interesting dynamic where your opponents, if you're the one entry guy and they know it, your opponents are just going to try to bluff you so much, and they try to put a lot of pressure. So you just see crazy fun hands.
Yeah,
Someone's
yeah,
asking if
it's a
Elis
cool
didn't shove
tournament.
the ace 10.
Oh, the board, yeah, the board was paired, so I mean, it wasn't the nuts. Probably hard to get called by worse, but yeah, it's as played. I
Yeah,
think it's very unlikely he's got full houses, but I think that the call still makes sense though. Don't see much reason to shove there.
yeah. If he shoves, it's very hard for any worse hand to call. And Misakowski still has jacks and nines in his range, as played. So you might only get called by king queen of clubs, so that's one combo. Maybe some like king x of clubs as well. But it is very thin to shove there and expect a lot of combos to hero you off. Especially when Elis also has boats in his range. So like he's gonna have nines, tens, and jacks at some frequency. So those are gonna be the easy river shoves.
Yeah, for sure. As we see, ace queen,
Alrighty.
ace eight. Both players pair the ace here. Artur in a very nice position with the best kicker, best position, and he is going to go for a 50% pot bet here, and it is going to be hard. The ace of hearts as well for Red Tour. I mean, obviously going nowhere right now. Kind of one of those tricky spots. This is why position's so valuable, and interesting card. Could slow things down. Definitely Archer,
Hmm.
likely still a 2 street hand. Most likely, although this card is going to be a little bit concerning. Still though, man, this is
Oh,
why
really?
you just got to respect a guy like this so much. He just knows like where he's at, what his opponent likely has, and just goes for absolute max here. Basically, 75 big bet against an opponent, knows he's going to have the
Yeah.
dominated ace a lot, and this is wow, what a run
Ooh.
out though. Whew.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, we're never gonna see a bet from Arthur. Usually, not gonna see a bet ever. Very well played from Arthur. Extremely unlucky. Um, Turn bet is not thin in any way because there's so many like King 10, Queen 10 with a one hard that always call. Every Ace X with a hard is calling. You do lose to some two pairs, but the most likely ones actually check raise the flop sometimes, like 10-9, Ace 10, Ace 9. So very unlucky. We got some hands here. Probably small blind wants to see a flop as well.
Yeah,
He's
there's
second in chips now, this guy.
yeah, and I got to ask you a question because I streamed for I don't know 3-4 years very intensely regularly. This was before really getting into GG. As back in like 16, 17, 18. GG's obviously risen to the top here. You stream on there. How do you deal with the final tables and the delay? Because that was always something. I was never streaming really before I signed with GG, and being here now, and I do most of the show, the podcast. Obviously, going to be a guest coming up here, which is exciting. I got to ask you, how do you deal with that 15-minute delay? Do you cut your stream? Do you set your delays longer, or if you make a final table, you then like go offline and set delay? How do you deal with that?
It is a very tricky situation that I've dealt with multiple times. Made videos about it too on YouTube. I usually start my delay with 5 minutes, and then on final tables usually get 10 to 15. There's been 4 instances where I had to shut down my stream, and it was really, really frustrating because I made a really big final table. There's a lot of people watching, and I just can't do anything except shut it down because I don't want to cost myself, like a $30,000 to $50,000 decision just to keep the stream going. I've thought of some ways to kind of like maneuver around it, but there's not really much you can do. You just have to hope players don't try to take advantage of it and just be
What
prepared.
off the
Um,
top of my head, the most logical would be to put the whole card cam up, right? Like turn it on like while you're there. Is that something you could do? But
yeah,
then it's tricky. But I would think that almost would be better than cutting. Um, Wow, hold on a second here. There's 1.5 million in the pot, 10 jack of
big pot.
diamonds,
Yeah,
and king queen of spades. No one has a club, no one has an ace, no one has a pair,
anything.
and king high is good on the river, but does Ray Tor get to win it as played? This is sorry, I was making some notes here for the highlights that we do on the show, but this is interesting. I'm not sure how we got here, but no one has a pair in a
It
huge
was
pot. This is a massive pot.
yeah, small blind squeezed against an open of flat. Went for a 15 or 10% c bet on the flop. Check turn. I think he's probably gonna go for small bet here. Yeah. Which is gonna work a lot because you're just gonna fold out some auto folds like queen jack of clubs, king queen of clubs, king jack of clubs. Arthur, I don't like he does also block like ace jack, ace 10 of diamonds, which is a bit relevant. But this line in general, you don't see bet check bet very often. I'm
Wow,
wondering
Arthur
if
is really
Arthur, it
curious
would be a
here. This would be
slick
this
hero
would be
call.
sick. We've
Yeah.
seen some highlight hands, but I mean, the thing is too, it's like, all right, if he has kings or queens, or I'm sorry, if he has like jacks or tens, is he betting? He blocks kings, queens. I mean, not that kings or queens would even be betting here anyway, right? So it's like, he blocks ace, king, ace, queen, and I mean, this would be insane. But maybe there's some history here. Maybe they've watched each other. Maybe also the line is just
Wow,
is
he plays
just
the running hot. That's a baller play.
Elias doesn't buy it either. He's saying, I'm not sure if the 5-3 is. He's saying that's
Yeah.
good. He knows 5-3 is good.
Wow.
Wow,
We
that's
have a new chip leader. Our random unknown is all of a sudden chip leader. We gotta give this guy a clap. I mean, he came in like
yeah,
sixth
golfer
in chip
claps out there
or
for sure.
something. Yeah, he
Yeah,
went
wow.
for it.
I'm
I mean,
that's
he definitely
that
went
was
for
that
it.
was a cool hand. I love that Arthur was like he really wasn't buying it. He could be just playing 10 tables, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think he um uh
He felt like something was off. Yeah. Um, he can still have a lot of weak ace X just going for very thin value as well and slash blocking bets. So I think you can't really always call it, like, you can't really call with king high there. He was in a small blind. He could be squeezing ace five suited, like ace eight suited, and just goes for really thin on value bets on a river. So his line does make sense from Returo Lobby. Like um, it's credible. It's not crazy. If he goes for a really big bet on a river, then it'd be a bit more confusing because you don't you don't have many hands that like check turn and then on the river are like super confident of betting big, because Arthur can still be checking back ace jack suited and ace queen sometimes on the turn. So well played, new chip leader, the unknown. I like that Arthur was considering it though. He's just got some tricks up his sleeve that like no one knows about. I mean, there's a reason this guy is just like one of the biggest winners in the 10K. Like if you go through his chart, his online stats, and you see how he's performed in these 10K events, it's unbelievable. Just looks like a robot that just was created to win in this tournament. Best way to explain it, really. He does put in a lot of bullets, though. I think last week he was in for like 8 bullets or something like that. So he likes to
That is
invest a
a that
lot.
I know one of the things GG is looking to do, and the Super Millions to be a live, a um, they want to do like the live version, right? Where it's like you see and track the results, because it's kind of cool. Like Hendon Mob, you look at players like, oh, I won 20 million, 10 million, 5 million, but how many buy-ins? Like the Super Millions, to keep it pure and see like the total entries. Make it keep track of how your actual result plus minuses in this format of poker looking to do live. So pretty cool. And the Super Millions obviously is such a strong brand, such a big tournament that on a Tuesday people are playing for over $250,000 to first. We see in the lower right 327,000
Yeah.
the first today, guaranteed 59K the remaining 8 players. Just such a strong tournament, man. Who would have thought online poker 5, 10, 15 years ago, right? It was like, I remember when I started playing 2003, 4, it was like we see a big bet here too at the 8-3. This is some sick hands going on.
Yeah.
These guys are sick. You're right. These guys are going for it. But seeing playing for
He types in his
327K on a
bet.
Tuesday.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
types
this
in his
is
bet and just puts 22222. I like that. This guy's not playing
uh,
with big blinds. He's actually he's looking at all the chips. That's some tricks up his sleeve.
very, very nice. Um, yeah,
Everyone's
very
going
cool.
for it on
Very,
this final table.
You're right. You said it from the start. The guys are not afraid. They play a lot of experience with each other, but also just willing to go for the big score, which is fun because some final tables we see it all different types, right? Guys sit back. There's ICM, as of course is always the case. Some people more trying to ladder. Today we're seeing a little more of the go for it, and just a lot of guys are so tough, so capable.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
That's what makes some of these strategies really interesting. If you have a table like this where everyone's going for it, sometimes like just sitting back and chilling is not a bad. You're gonna ladder up since everyone's trying to play really big pots. But then it just makes it so like a lot less likely that you're even gonna be in contention for winning the tournament. Um, and then if someone's gonna be playing really passive and scared, that's when you start seeing people bluffing a lot more and going for it in these situations. It's always, I watch all these replays and on all the other sites as well. Any high stakes tournament, I'm always watching because I'm always interested to see what's going on, who's going for it, who's bluffing. This is, I think Peters is gonna be calling it off here. Obviously, Thomas is gonna go all in. I think Peters is gonna be calling it all in here. I think we're gonna see 5 here. Yeah.
Yeah, kings to eights. I'm sorry, and this is two players with a lot of experience. The great ones don't love calling off. I think eights is just right on that cutoff, as you said, that maybe you got to take the flip. But
Very
50K
close.
big blind, very close.
You still beat some hands, like some ace X suited, some worse pairs. Thomas is a very good aggressive player, and he does have those in his shoving range. Um, Peters generally actually approaches a lot of final tables playing chip EV and not, fully like passive into ICM mode or anything like that. So I personally expect him to call here. That's kind of like my read on him. He goes for the win, and he's gonna. Yep, there we go. Big pot.
Eights to kings. He took a little
There with the
RNG.
king. Oof.
There's the deuces. Elias was alluding to that with his bet size the hand before, and this is going to be
Yeah.
a 4.55%. River needs an 8. It's not. David Peters. So two of the best two of the best players, I could say, tournament poker players in the world live for sure. David Peters. There's his GG poker earnings, going to shoot him over $1 million in super millions earnings alone. But two of the best, Stevie Chidwick and David Peters on the live streets, who also are obviously very accomplished online. Both go out 9th and 8th. So a relief for some of these players at the final table. But again, we said there's a ton of firepower here. This is some of the biggest names in the game. And Archer, though, we got to mention again, 5 Super Millions titles. I mean, that is just nutty. I don't think anyone, maybe one other player, Nicholas Osted, I think has 5 as well. And then, not a lot some of these guys with 1, but that is such a ridiculous stat. He's looking to set Super Millions history and get his 6th today. Let's see if he can do it. He's had a little bit of adversity so far, a couple tough runouts, but still in the mix and always dangerous with chips. So we'll see. Who would you say you battle with the most in the Super Millions? Is there some player that you just kind of seems like always at your table? Because it's not a huge field, right? Like 150 or so. Like who do you kind of just always seem like you're tangoing with?
I my close friend Alex Panakov, actually, we battle a lot. He's my coach. He's an amazing dude. He's helped me a lot to improve my game, and we just always end up on the same tables, and it's kind of like fun slash annoying because like we don't really, you know, enjoy beating each other, but like we go for it. And there's been some situations where you kind of end up doing something crazy, and I think him and what's his name? One of the Brazilian guys, Hilix. I only know his like screen name, but those two come to mind. Just battling a lot, uh, but everyone, like the thing about this tournament is every pot is a battle. Like there's no easy situations in these tournaments. That's why variance can be very crazy. You'll have someone that just plays it like 30 times in a row and just never makes the final table or anything. It's because, there's not much of an edge. Everyone's really solid in these tournaments. It's only when it's a much bigger guarantee, like sometimes it's like a 5 million guarantee or something, you might, someone might be have a better odds of winning, but in general, you're just up against the sickest players.
Yeah, well, this is also a lot going on. This board very connected, and we see the ace 10 go ahead and bet, get snapped off there.
Ooh,
Board's paired, king jack does call, and that is another pot going to be to our chip
interesting.
leader.
So now Misakowski back to the chip lead and has position on the guy. So this is, like a situation he probably didn't expect himself to be in, Misakowski. He didn't think he's going to have, position on the second and chips. But for my guess, the guy in second place, Retour Olabi, is possibly a recreational maybe, or, we don't know anything about him, but like he might be playing different than we expect in these situations. He might not care that he has, the chip leader on his left. This is gonna be a big pot. Definitely, this is the same exact as the
Wow.
ace queen. The guy had ace 8 twice and has very similar runouts. He has the ace of spades. He has to call.
Yeah, Elis also a
Very good
similar
bet
stack
by
size.
Elis.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost exact same bet
Mm.
sizing and pot size. This time the spade does not come in, and ace king with a very strong hand here. 1 million in the pot. He's got 1.5 in his stack, almost 1.6. Let's see what he does here, as he is in a very, very nice situation. Obviously can't see his opponent's cards. He does decide to check back. I guess he
Yeah.
does lose. There's some hands he loses to, so enough. He decided that it just outweighed going for the bet. But either way, Eos up to 2.69 million. Very dangerous player, and there are some shorter stacks now. We see Mr. Jibin with 889,000, so he is on the on the shorter side, but everyone else pretty healthy, and seven's going to open and take it down here.
Yeah. Now the difference between first and second is a bit bigger, which allows the chip leader to start putting a bit more pressure in these situations. Oh, we got a bunch of hands here. All right. I'm predicting an all-in and a call from Elis.
Yep, this
I
should
think that's
Arthur's
the
going
most
to,
likely scenario here.
yeah, find a way to get out. Three
He's a
pretty
bit
big
of a
hands
time
as we
traveler.
see. Yes. Yes, this is gonna, we will see five, that's for sure. And this is gonna be a lot of, not a lot of jacks left. It does have the best hand to hold. It doesn't need any help, but ace, queen. Let's see though. I mean, let's see what other scenarios. That's pretty much seems like the most likely. There it is. Good luck. All in. Away
Yeah.
Arthur with that action is going to play, and we are going to be off to a flip. And ace queen. I talk about this hand so many. This is the most, I feel like one of the most difficult hands to play, and just seems like things don't go well. And that
Yeah.
might be the case for
Well,
Mr. Jibin if he can't find a
yeah. And
river
one out was dead as
miracle.
well. So
And
it's
ooh,
oh,
ooh, ooh,
ooh, the
ooh, there
ladies
was
on
an
the
ace
river.
on it. And ladies'
Oof.
man right there, Mr. Jibin. He
What
is
a lucky
excited,
guy,
and
yeah.
that changes the dynamic of the final table big time. That shortest stack doubles and
Oh
pretty
yeah.
even right now. I mean, look at this. It is really tight. Not a ton separating. Got the 4 million, 3 million, and then everyone else sort of between 1.3 and 2 million. So very, very tight right now.
Oh, interesting. So Retour Lobby just folded King Jack from the cutoff really quickly. Didn't even consider three betting. I guarantee you, every other player on this final table would have like most likely three bet in that spot.
Right.
Yeah,
Certainly
looks
thought
like
about
this
it.
is quite the flop for Mr. Jubin. Just
Yeah.
has all the
Is
equity on the planet.
yes, he's not afraid of much here, and Thomas could just be playing a lot. It's a Tuesday. There's good tournament action going on. Might be playing a lot. He does have a gut shot, and some players do find creative lines. No diamond in his hand. Can't imagine anything
Yeah, he
else there.
needs a
So
diamond
nice,
to
nice pot.
continue.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and fold that. The Brazilian in there, man. I feel like I see a Brazilian every week at the final table. I want to welcome everyone to hit that thumbs up. If you're having a good time, thank you so much. Let us know where you're watching from. This is the Super Millions every Tuesday. Again, we got special guests as promised, and my man is a top Twitch streamer. How often? Give us your Twitch streaming schedule and where can they find you?
Well, I stream on Twitch, and we'll be starting to stream on YouTube in the future. I stream every Sunday and Thursday usually, but because I've taken a 3 week vacation recently, I'm actually going to be streaming a lot more this month. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Next week, probably like 3 or 4 days a week. I want to get back into it. I kind of missed streaming, honestly. Feels weird, but my vacation was a bit too long. I had a really good time traveling in the UK and in Spain. Got to see some awesome football, soccer matches. We got American viewers, I think. But yeah, I miss poker. I do, and I always like to do like silly, fun stuff on my stream as well. So I really enjoy my own streams. So you're gonna see a lot
Very
more
cool.
of it.
Very nice. We see a nice blocker bet there on the river. Mr. Jibin had the best hand.
Mm-hmm.
Nines make a good fold. Definitely could have been curious with the size and how the hand was played. Does make the
Mm-hmm.
right decision. I think that's the biggest thing that separates players at these tournaments and this stakes, the sizes, the decisions, right? The close spots, the knowing where they're at, making the right decision so frequently is it's definitely shows the skill level of these players. But as we see, we are still seven-handed. We will play to winner 327 up top, and we are in a absolute treat today. I mean, it's not many times I see a Super Millions where I'm like, oh, this is like, I don't know many people. This has been more, I'd say more pound for pound, really really loaded up. Not too many unknowns, and the guys that so far have
Yeah.
been unknown have been giving us a nice mix too. Looks like they know how to play
Ooh.
and making for a fun table. And here's
Rodrigo getting a
Rodrigo.
bit spicy here. Yeah.
Yeah, puts it on
I
a
think
seven-handed.
yeah. I like it though. I mean, Misakowski is the chip leader opening into all the smaller stacks. He's going to be opening generally pretty wide here. So this 3-bet should work a lot of time. But just rips it in his face, says, no, no, no. You're going to fold your 2 overs, or 1 over, I guess, in this case. But I mean, Rodrigo's going to be picking some king jack suited, some king queen off his 3-bets there. You know, tens decides to just go for it. You'll see sometimes people just flatting tens in that spot. But you know, it all depends on how much you expect your player to be 3-betting. If he's going to be 3-betting really wide, Saluwan is known to be, you know, on the much more aggressive side, so it makes sense for tens to, you know, at some frequency just put it in there.
Yep. Ace five suited can open up. Jack nine calls in the big blind. Pretty boring flop. Ace king deuce. No player with a ton. The ace five obviously top pair is going to be enough. Probably a small bet and win. And does bet Jack nine snap fold. So yeah, we are still 7-handed. We've seen a couple. That big flip, the queen on the river. That was probably the most intense moment so far. Huge swing to consolidate chips and keep Mr. Jibin in the match. But yeah, that was intense. That was the miracle river, and a couple nice hands here as well.
I'm gonna see a flat here, yeah, and a squeeze very often. Got a question in chat, since this is gonna be, I think it's gonna go squeeze and fold very often. You know, unless Retour decides to back shove, but it's very unlikely. He's been playing pretty kind of straightforward passive, you know, solid. I don't expect him to just, you know, give up his second place chips with an insane back shove with sevens. Yeah, there was a question about why are Malinowski, that's limitless, and Marator always at these final tables. You know, there's really two main reasons. Skill level, of course, those are very, very solid players. But in general, in these smaller fields, you're just gonna see people consistently make final tables sometimes because, you know, they're just more likely to make final tables. It's really that simple. Every week, it's 150 people. You know, Marator puts in on average like 4 or 5 bullets, so he's just very likely to make the final table when he's always re-entering versus someone who's not always re-entering. Same thing goes for Limitless. They invest a lot.
Yes, that's true. They're willing to go deep. Someone might say, oh, I'm going to play 2 bullets or one, only 3 bullets maybe, but to be able to go 6, 7, 8, that definitely increases your percentage of making final tables and getting chips. But of course, skill level very strong from these players.
Ooh, we got some spicy hands here too. Misakowski might go for a 3-bet here. Oh, let's just flat. Yeah, it's gonna be. I think Marator is probably gonna. This is kind of interesting, depending on what Thomas does. He can shove, and he can go 500k as well. I think probably we're gonna see a shove because it puts Misakowski in a really tough spot sometimes if he has like pocket tens or something like that. If he just shoves. Someone's asking me why I have the stream running behind me. It's actually the stream from when I made the final table 4 weeks ago. Just
nice. I like that. I like that touch size. It's a cool looking background for sure. Yeah, it's this is when you stream. Do you ever stream on the road, or when you stream, you're pretty much at home? Do you take a road laptop if you're ever traveling or out of the country?
I'm always from home. I have never streamed away from home yet. I enjoy. I have a specific setup, so it makes it very hard to like do it somewhere else. This is actually. Oh, we got an all in. Yeah, there. It's just gonna be a chop most of the time. Is there gonna be a sweat? No, not even a sweat.
It could be. It was. There was a chance. He had the back doors, but
it was close. Yeah, I didn't notice. Yeah, it's true. Well, 5 of clubs on a turn, it would have been a bit more interesting. Yeah, I haven't streamed elsewhere yet, mostly because it's. I mean, you streamed. You know how complicated it is. You have your gear, you have your tools, and everything, and You can do it sometimes from my laptop, but I've invested a lot in my setup to play silly graphics and stuff like that, so I can't bring all that stuff with me. Obviously, I can't bring the bar behind me with me as well. That's impossible. I think we're gonna see 5 here. 3. We're gonna see a flop at least. Let's.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
now he goes for
well,
it.
there he is. There it is. A little different. Maybe
This
feeling
is
more comfortable with the
interesting.
suited.
Yeah. He did it. He skipped the king jack off in the cutoff against a wider opening range, but goes for the king 10 suited against a tighter range. Um, you know, not that this is a good play for sure, but it's interesting to see that the king jack just insta folded. Wow.
Wow. A lot of credit
Okay, hold
there.
on,
A lot of
Jeff.
credit.
What was that ace queen suited?
Hey, look, he's maybe seen my
Wow.
streams or my old rants about Ace Queen. Just doesn't want a part of it, or maybe just the middle. He's sort of in that very vulnerable. He's taking ICM to a new level of just like doesn't want to tango, doesn't want to
Whoa.
get in a weird spot. But yeah, that was surprising, but also I get it. It's definitely like extreme, but you could see kind of what he's thinking, and maybe just a function of Reitor as well, right? On what he feels his range and where he's at. But yeah, a little surprised for sure
Yeah.
to just not
That
continue.
basically he must think that this guy three betting king 10 suited is just like a very straightforward scared player for him to quickly fold ace queen suited there, which I mentioned in the beginning of the stream that this guy can get out of line. Retour lobby, Mr. Mexico. He can get out of line and play really crazy, and everyone's just gonna think he's a very scared player. So that was a that I guarantee you, Mr. G folded ace queen suited against any other player in that spot.
Yeah,
Really,
that
really
was
interesting to see. Ooh. All right. I think it's just gonna be Rodrigo's probably gonna win the spot quite often. Not the greatest flop for him though, but um he definitely has good blockers. Blocks ace jack of clubs, blocks king queen of hearts. Um yeah, I think even like if Misakowski has like nines here without a heart, not the greatest spot for him. Rodrigo can just barrel on a lot of turns, any heart, a queen or something like that as well.
yeah, nice hand to do it with, understanding where his opponent's range is more so there. And again, very tight. Look at this: 2.2, 1.9, 2 million, 1.9. So very, very tight. Artur now finds himself on the short stack, and we see the chip leader still with almost just over 4 million. And King 10 suited, Mr.
Ooh,
Jibin giving Artur the
didn't
respect there,
take it.
lays it down.
Yeah. Sikowski's probably gonna fed here, I would say, as the chip leader. Also from a very aggressive opponent that is generally going to be opening still pretty wide there. Suited cards always much better to defend in these situations. This should be over. So I actually played a live hand against you a long time ago, Jeff. And you got really angry at me, but it was justified because it was in Montreal in Playground. And I don't remember the action, but you opened in late position and I defended. I think it was like 9-7 of hearts or something, and I flopped a straight flush.
Hmm.
Obviously, of course, because everyone in chat now is gonna be like, "Oh, of course, Beriuzy flops a straight flush. He runs the best. It's true." But on the river, we got to the river, and like I had like I didn't know what to do. I don't remember the action exactly, but I was taking a while to think like, do I want to go all in? Do I want to bet really small? And you got frustrated at me because I did take a long time. I think I took like 2 minutes, and you just said something, and I realized like, man, I'm really out of line. Why am I taking this long? And I ended up going for like a small bet. You called, you had like an overpair or something, and I showed the
Yeah.
straight flush, and the whole table was like laughing, like, "Oh, what the hell is this guy doing?" I'm
I
not sure if
vaguely
you remember. That was a
remember
long
the.
time ago.
Yeah, I played so much at Playground. I love Playground. I during pre-COVID, I was going 3 times a year pretty much to all the WPTs, all the stuff they had there, all the big tournaments. Love it there, and yeah, I played so many tournaments, but definitely some crazy runouts and such. That doesn't. I don't. I'm sure you are not aligned. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense, right? You're just thinking about what to do, and that's nice to flop a straight flush
Yeah,
though. That's definitely nice. Red, of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
That's your color. Of course, it's
Uh,
hearts.
yeah, yeah. It was hearts. I remember. And I'm like pretty annoying live player because sometimes I get lost in my own brain. Like I'll just be thinking about something and kind of just can't really focus. And I take a bit more time than I should, and then I realize I'm like, oh man, like in that 2 minutes that I was against you, I would say maybe 30 seconds was me thinking about the decision, and the other 90 seconds were like me reacting like a squirrel to like someone saying something in the background, and just like, oh god, need to focus on the hand.
Yeah, yeah.
We
It's
got
it
a
happens.
pot
It
here.
does happen. It happens. Like this is one of those flops that's pretty interesting. And Mr. Jibin, I think
Good
we
fold,
see
yeah.
being on the more cautious side, but does end up making the
Pretty
correct
big
fold in this
sizing by Mr.
situation.
Kowski.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are
Went
going to
for a
take a very
really
short
greedy
break. A
sizing.
message. Yeah, it was but very greedy. And I'll tell you what, we're going to take a message from our sponsor, Club GG. Let's take a look.
Yeah! Jackpot! Yeah!
All right, action is back. There it is, Club GG taking that jack forehand. That's another one, I guess. Don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but just what's your overall takeaways from that situation? Because I followed it. Joey Ingram, Doug Polk, these guys going deep, giving the full blown coverage. I was actually with Bill Perkins in Austin at ACL, and he was on the phone calling in, and they were giving bounties, for information. It got kind of wild, but I didn't really find how it finished. Like I saw there was like a lie detector test allegedly passed. There was like nothing else really came. It did that just kind of die? I mean, what was your takeaway at the end?
It basically just died. They couldn't really prove anything. My takeaway from the start was that there was no cheating, and it's just kind of a recreational player doing, a mistake. Um, I kind of commented about it from the start. Like, I just really think that's what happened. I've seen similar things happen in live poker, to be honest, and that's why I had that perception because I've
Right,
personally made a completely moronic mistake once where I misread my hand, but like it wasn't even close. Like I thought I had like 9-8 suited and ended up having 7-6 off. Something in my brain just didn't make any sense. It's
right.
in one of my YouTube videos from Vegas this summer, and I can see how someone under a lot of stress or playing for a lot of money can just make a mistake. That's what it looked like to me. I like the video though that they made, like a good recreation of the situation.
Yeah, it was the usernames, the hand, the whole thing for sure. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting. With some of those things we just don't know. It's it does. I have to say, like that, there's a lot of reasons why. Like I felt biased one way or the other early on, and it just looked fishy. There's a lot, but then at the same time, the fact that there was like that large of a bounty for the information, and usually, you can't have more than one people keep a secret, and it seemed. It did seem bizarre that like there's you would think it might come out, right, if there was really ill play, ill stuff, but I just haven't followed it
yeah,
at all, so I don't know what's happened. I just assume that it just kind of was left that there was no wrongdoing or nothing happened. I guess my question is about, oh, I see the interesting bet's a gut shot, and then now Mr. Jibin is still with the queen, going to hang on. Could get put in some tough spots here. I guess the interesting part is that she gave the money back and Garrett donated it. So like that's what I think is the most what I guess I was trying to see, did anything ever happen with that?
Yeah, that was
Like, do you?
kind of
Uh,
unexpected for sure. Um, but if you're under a lot of pressure, you're on a big stage and up against one of the legends of poker. I think people give back the money out of pure pressure, and that's what I thought. This
right.
hand looks extremely standard. Once the turn is a 10, Rodrigo beats some ace highs, beats some flush draws, some 8x. Doesn't need to bet anymore. Doesn't need to bluff, and yeah, it looks like both played it the same way I would have if I was in either position. I'm curious what happens here. I want to see what Mr. G-Ben's gonna do and what this guy's gonna do, because this guy has been kind of going for it in terms of pre-flop aggression. Yeah. And he's kind of, it looks like he found his target. He just thinks this Mr. Giben is scared Austrian player.
Yeah.
Because he's
It
been
definitely.
pressing on the pedal every time.
Yeah, for sure. Big pot here, 472 in the middle. All pots getting pretty big as the blinds are raised, and we are going to see a bet. And yeah, jack high, just a couple back doors, not too enticing to play with. Although you do realize sometimes the blind on blind ranges are so polarized that he could just have nothing. Still kind of hard to stick in there. If we've seen him make some folds with nines on jack high or ace queen suited pre, don't think that's going to be one where he's going to look to get sticky in the situation. Sitting fine with 1.9 million, 30K, 60K big blind at the moment. Plenty of play left. And this is the shakeout's been, again, pretty tight. Stack sizes are pretty bundled here.
Misakowski really enjoying a very comfortable chip lead, has great position on this table as well. He hasn't really gone out of line in any way. We saw right before the break, he 3-bet ace jack against Mr. Giben. Very standard. But I think his size on the flop was a bit greedy. I think he went for like 45% or something like that in a 3-bet pot. Not something you see very often. And in a way got punished because Mr. Giben had a hand that usually continues against the regular sizings, but actually folded nines on jack 8 deuce, which is very good fold with ICM. It's much better to continue something that have strong draws, that have equity, a lot of equity to improve. Pocket nines on jack 8 deuce is just like not really super exciting in any way.
Right.
Being asked if I'm Persian, I am not. I'm born in Lebanon though, so close enough to Persia.
Yeah, that's definitely. I actually was supposed to go to Lebanon, didn't get to go. Wanted to go. I've been over to Cyprus many times, Turkey as well, been to Israel.
You
But
have to go.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty amazing. How is it right now in terms of like insane? Like I know there's a period where it was kind of it got a little crazy, but is that just?
Yeah, it's going through a lot of turmoil and issues. But it has been like that for so long. Lebanon, unfortunately, is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, but unfortunately, just has too much corruption and issues. And in a way, the people got used to it, and right now it's just become a good tourism destination. From what I've heard right now, like it's still a great time to visit, but you want to exercise caution in general. I was there in 2019, right before COVID, right before crazy things, the massive explosion that happened in Beirut, and it was an unbelievable experience. I proposed to my wife there, so in my mind, I'll never forget that trip.
Well,
I don't
that
think.
is
I don't think. Doesn't look like there's going to be a fold here.
no. He can't fold there. Too much board.
Yeah.
But a little bit, on that flop, it's a little bit ambitious to bet into the big blind range on 758, especially with like, it's not like we have
Half pot size as
kings or
well.
something. Yeah. See if he can continue. Also interesting, not really any backdoor cards for himself, right? Like this doesn't really turn a lot of great turn cards where he's just going to get to like keep telling. This is
He's just going for
ambitious.
it. Yeah. This is the out of the box play that we've kind of guessed might happen from this type of player. Um, the flop, c betting ace queen for 50% doesn't really accomplish much because you actually just fold a lot of hands that you beat that you might want to let them catch up. Like queen 10, ace 10, ace jack, these type of hands where you might pick up, you turn a better pair or something. But just barreling it is a bit crazy. He just gives up the river.
Yeah, that hand that was that
Yeah.
was that was a pretty wild line there. I guess just trying to make put pressure on sort of a weakish middling hand that would go away, which he actually, credit to Thomas there for hanging on, as he did have sort of that hand where he hung in there. Going to face a tough decision on the river, but also probably, yeah.
The problem
Sorry, go
is
ahead.
on the turn is that if you are targeting these type of middling hands, they just have so much equity. A lot of times he's gonna have a pair plus a open ender or a gut shot or something like that. You know, Thomas is gonna have Jack 10, Jack 9, 10 9, 9 8, 9 7 suited. 10 6 suited. Like all these type of hands that just won't fold the turn. So you're targeting very very little hands with your turn bet. Same goes for the flop as well. It's just, he has so many connected offsuit hands that are just gonna never fold on the flop. So you're not really accomplishing much with your 50% c bet with ace queen, especially with no backdoor, like you mentioned. You need at least have a flush draw on the turn, maybe, or something like that, or maybe if you have like ace 10 or ace 9 that has a gut shot that can improve to a straight on a river. But yeah. I think that shows a bit of an inexperience from our opponent, possibly. Oh wow!
Ace
Okay,
king suited
very
with the flat.
yeah, very interesting spot.
A lot of spades. A lot of spades.
Yeah, it's actually he's second in chips, Thomas. So flatting these type of hands actually makes a lot of sense when there's five stacks that are shorter than you. Um, you don't really want to start getting it in this deep. You're still supposed to three bet. I think ace king suited is okay to three bet versus ace king off. You can flat ace king off a bit more here. In general, like with ICM, you do change up a lot of your strategies, which is why he's flatting this. Looks like, yeah, I mean, yeah, no way Marator is just like gonna think of something crazy there. Be very ambitious.
Well, yeah, he would, I guess, have the most. It would be sort of credible, but there's just it's you can't get great players do creative things and are aggressive, but you can't try to win every single pot, especially when you got a lot of great players here. And Thomas with the ace king suited, kind of seems like a clear two street hand. Just curious if he's going to go with a half pot, sort of some kind of goes a little bit less here, but does want to get tax a ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, maybe any ace. Also, he doesn't have a diamond. Could be some diamond draws picked up, and ultimately does just win the hand there. But I do like that flat. It's a little more high variance though, for sure. You're inviting Archer into the pot. You're going three-way. Even with his hands with the spades, the equities are pretty wide open there. So nice result for him. 3.2 million, playing a nice game plan today, and he is in second currently, having a solid final table thus far. As we see, Archer is at 1.2 million. A lot of fan favorites. Again, trying to get his sixth title in the Super Millions, which would be unprecedented. See if he can do that. He has got his work cut out for him right now, but he's one of those guys who can't count out. He just can't really. Doesn't matter. He's got chips. He's got more than 10 blinds. He's got plenty. He's got 20, almost 21 blinds. So anyone's game still, as there is no clear short stack and a lot of talent, a lot of people going for it. This is a very fun mix, I would say, of a group today, and we definitely would air more on aggression. There's more people willing and capable to go for stuff. So this will be fun to see who gets it done. 327 up top, a big one, another big prize pool for the Super Millions.
Elis going for it here. Probably gonna always get it through. Supposed to have very tight ranges in this type of spot. So, Misakowski's not really gonna flat ever with those type of hands, which is good. He shouldn't be. I think this looks like Elis winning again. I'm not sure if it's eyeless or e-less. I think it's e-less. I have a question for you, Jeff. So you played a lot, you streamed a lot, and then you now switched more into podcasting, hosting, commentating. What made you go more towards that route? Very interested.
Yeah, so I love streaming. To me, honestly, it's the most fun. You know, I'm 30. I don't know how old are you?
30.
How old are you, Beers? 30. So I'm 36. I think
I'm
you're say
30,
just
yeah.
recently married.
Mhm.
30. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I was 6 years ago, was 2016. That was the peak of my streaming. I'd say 2016, 2017. I have my now wife. We have a 3.5-year-old. And it's a lot harder, right? I also live in the US. That's my primary base, which for 2016, 17,
Okay.
I was traveling a lot out of a suitcase. And as you know, being at home is nice. Like, look, I got my 4 monitors, comfortable chair, good internet, everything's good. There was a lot of times I was running around, bad internet, couldn't get off the ground, like stuff you wouldn't believe. You know, it was wild times, but that was the majority of my streaming. And then now it's just let me just call this action here as we have a pretty interesting pot. 3-6. No one really has much. 8, 9, 10 Jack. There's a 4-liner now. And
Yeah.
one of those things where yeah, the chip leader here knows that, it's a spot where it's a tough when you're going against such a world-class player too to bluff. You maybe think a little more
Oh,
against it, what he's capable of. And this is it's got some showdown value here. Nice pot. Can't imagine anything but check win. I don't think he feels like he would have to bluff,
he
but
might bluff actually. Very interesting spot because it went check check flop. Misakowski bets the turn. He can have a lot of Jack X suited to defend pre-flop, like Jack 5, Jack 6. And now Eyeless loses to those, and he does have ace queens, king queens in his range. So he might turn like a 9x into a bluff sometimes. He also will get 10x to fold. It's a very close spot between the two decisions. Even for 3-6 of hearts to bluff the river, it's also pretty close because your three is really never good. You might just beat like ace king of clubs, I guess. That's like it.
yeah. The
Very close spot for both.
Yeah, very close spot. Yeah, to the answer, but so just sort of a practice of practicality, right? It's just sort of a function of that it's just hard. I'm in the U.S. I have a family, mostly, right? My wife's Brazilian, so when I go to Brazil, I do have a setup there, which is nice to plug in and play. And I
Mhm.
do kind of my goal would be to during WSOP coming up for online to like the next time that happens, I'd love to like do a month or something. That's the nice part, right? I have a base, I have Twitch set up, it's ready to plug and play. It's just also Twitch, right? It's hard. Like now for me to hop on, do a stream or two, and pop in, it's like it's difficult because you got to be there consistently, put in the
Yeah.
time, and I've sort of moved from that portion of my I call it like the you know um, that's the answer. I really do enjoy podcasting too, and it's also something nice to do. It sucks that online poker there's so many restrictions, right? Like it's just too bad the world's not open. It's open in the U.S. The prize pools would be insane. It would be fun, and then I'd stream a lot more often. I'd love to stream like 2 to 4 hours a day, or play a tournament, 1 or 2 table, and fire a couple times a week from a comfortable, easy
Mhm.
place to do that. But it's just a lot of hoops to jump through, and different time of life. That's the long
Yeah. It
short
makes a
answer,
lot
I
of
guess I
sense
should say.
though. Yeah. No, I totally get it. It makes a lot of sense. It's kind of, I guess, expected similar answer, but I think one thing people don't really realize is if you decide to play poker professionally, it involves a lot of flexibility, a lot of moving around, and that is very enjoyable. To be honest, like you get to travel, you get to see a lot of things. But the issue with it is if you have a personality or a life goal of like building family or being more stable, it's really difficult to find the balance. You try to build a relationship with your, significant other, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, there's another poker series in this part of the world. I gotta go. And you just keep doing that every few months. It gets really difficult. So makes sense that you found a home base. It's a lot more comfortable. I believe you have kids as well. I think you have 2 kids, all right?
One three and a
Yeah.
half
So
year old,
that
yeah,
that does
boy. It's
change things.
it's a handful, that's for sure.
Hard to travel
It's
with kids and play poker. Yeah.
it's again, different times, different waves, different situations. But I love poker. I'd love to be a part of it any way possible. And this is definitely a treat. I don't even consider this work to watch these players play, and it does kind of help. It's sort of like a review in itself to stay on top of things, see what's going on, see what players are doing, and some of the best in the world. So it's fun for sure. What do you do for
Keeping up with the
studying
game,
mostly?
that's the cool thing.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of reviews? Do you watch final tables? Do you watch, what sort of, how would you calibrate this for studying? Is this very high up in your what you do? Is this just like kind of to see some familiar faces, or how much review are you watching in
Um,
actual tournament play?
I'm a poker nerd, honestly. Like I really watch. I think I can say I've watched the most final tables ever in this planet. I really can say that because I've been playing for 12 years, and um, every night before going to bed, I spend an hour to 2 hours on my phone. It's just my way of falling asleep. And 75% of that time is spent on just watching YouTube replays of final tables, of W Coops, GG events. I just watch it all the time. And it's my most comfortable way of studying, I would say. Just kind of keeping up with what all the good players are doing, what they're not doing sometimes is really interesting. And other type of studying is mostly just I have a group of friends that are really good poker players that I chat with often. um, that has kind of helped me a lot more recently. And I mentioned before, my coach is Alex Bonakov, well, in my opinion, one of the best in the world. He's
Yep.
helped me a lot. He's won this event a bunch of times.
Yep.
He's
Great
quite
player.
talented, yeah, and very good at explaining his thought process as well. That really helped me. I think for someone to really want to get better at the game, it's just view it more as a hobby that you really enjoy and just nerd it out. Like instead of spending time like doing something I would say a bit useless, like spending time on Instagram just watching reels of something you're not that interested in, just go watch like poker content. See what the other players are doing. Watch random coaching videos. There's a lot of free stuff on YouTube from really, really good players like Ben CB. Just puts out a video every week or so. You can learn a lot from that.
Yeah.
Sikowski going for pressure here with the ace-8 suited. Good shove. Actually puts Mr. Gibbon in a lot of tough spots. Like Mr. Gibbon is actually going to fold ace-10, ace-9 there for sure. Guess I have to specify Alex's name in chat just because it is typed a bit differently than usual. I was actually just at his wedding. It was like 4 days ago? Yeah, something like that. Congrats to him. Beautiful, beautiful wedding. Really happy for him. Met some of his family and friends. It was a really cool experience. Finding the balance of like caring more about real life events versus like any poker stuff is really important. Like I missed a lot of good tournaments. W Coop main event, obviously the GG 10K. I missed it 3 times, and I didn't even care. Just like I'm going to England to watch some football matches, soccer, going to a wedding and all that. It's very important for me to always like balance out being a poker nerd and just enjoying life as well. I think that's one thing people don't discuss as much. It was a recent topic on Twitter recently. A lot of people gave a lot of hate towards NCB for saying you should focus on a lot on hard work and not enjoy life. I think there just needs to be a balance. I get his point of view, but
But
can't
Ben's one of
always
my
just play
very
poker and
close.
travel.
I mean, he's one of my very close friends. I don't think I've heard him say it. What do you mean? You're saying he says to not enjoy life, or
No, I think people misunderstood what he said, and in a way, he kind of caused it because the way he typed in his tweet was, it said like, "Don't go to nightclubs, don't enjoy life, just focus a lot on building on hard work and improving your life." And his point was just don't waste time with toxic things. But the way he wrote it, just a lot of people misunderstood it. I get his point of view. Everyone thought he just telling everyone like, don't even enjoy life, just study all the time, study poker all the time, never have fun, and just be this locked in a room studying poker person. So he got a lot of hate
Mhm.
for it, but I think it was mostly just a misunderstanding. I think he got a bit of ridicule and stuff, and I don't. It's one thing with poker Twitter is they're just everyone's just waiting to be negative and you know just start drama for no reason of everybody else. What he's
Yeah,
accomplished
no,
is
for sure.
extremely amazing in his life. There's not
Yeah, I'm
many
a
poker
big Ben
players that also
CB.
launched the poker coaching. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a very close friend of mine. Work with him on many things, and I am very impressive guy. Very hardworking, motivated, focused, definitely, and also what he's done with the
Mhm.
esports and Ascend, pretty incredible. To
Yeah,
that's the way. That's his
exactly.
method. It's like focus, focus. Couple things he's chosen, and he's just been super dialed in, laser focused on, and yeah, wish him all the success always. And here, interesting overcall by Artur in the big blind. Got it hard to believe he could be good. He actually does have a chop pot, and he somehow, if he can
Yeah,
get there, let's see the 10 on the river, and
I
Thomas
mean,
though, yeah,
yeah, it's he does. I'm sure if he had like ace three of spades, he would fold. But having a backdoor flush draw like gives him that little bit of equity he needs.
right,
But it is up against two strong ranges. But it's also that it's the chip leader that's going to be opening really wide and c betting relatively wide here. I would say. Button still has some like king 10 suited, jack 10 suited, king jack suited, some queen x suited. So like he is ahead of that. I think it's a very close spot, but Marator in general is always playing a style that's kind of going for the win. So he goes for more chip EV lines. So it's not something unexpected really. I still think it's a against the size I believe, which was 30%, maybe 33. It's very close.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, very interesting. As we see, ace 7 suited, queen 3 off, Mr. Jibe. I think Archer probably noticing, whether on the stream or some history, he's been playing relatively passively in spots, and taking some risk. Here it is with the top pair, checks back on queen 9 8 6. Not I don't mind it. A little deception, a weak top pair, vulnerable, could be behind. You also show a little bit of deception here. Let's see if he's going to go ahead and protect now. It's very
hmm.
intricate board, and now the 7 of spades does put open ended for Archer. Let's see if he's going to continue. Could have the best hand, right? There's some 10x, Jack X, but I don't know if Mr. Jibin's one to be posturing or stabbing. So let's see. Or does he ever have some check raises here? Archer is a guy that you just don't want to give the option to, right? He can definitely put you in
Yeah,
the blender,
he can
and he
find the
is
spots.
there. It
Yeah,
is. There it is. Man,
he does
that's a
find
man with
it.
the plan.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very tricky player, and like someone will see this and be like, "Of course, it's a weak raise because he checked twice." It's like, no, you haven't played with him enough. Like he actually will have Jack 10 here. He'll have 10-7. He'll have pocket nines, eights sometimes as well, just going for really like tricky lines for max value. He wants someone to put in the bet and just charge them for their draws. So really, really well played by him. Um, realize that like opponent might be betting a 9 for value now and just can't do anything, against a check raise anymore. Ooh, this I think our opponent has been choosing the aggressive line a lot pre-flop. Yeah, I expected the all in here a lot, which is definitely fine against someone that opens wide in these situations.
Yep. Threes against that hand. Ace Queen is safe to the turn. 86.36%. River card, please squeeze. And it is a booster shout out. And
Booster,
it's
booster.
gonna work. Even gets the 3 just in case. There it is. There it is. He asked and received. My man is gonna have to wait for the delay, but he got it on, and there is gonna be a knockout.
I
Rodrigo
gave it to him.
Celoan, who is number 18 overall in the Super Millions. Just such an impressive player, such an impressive resume. Another nice score for him, and that will bring us to 6. Hope you guys are enjoying. Please tell us where you're watching from, and we are here. We are here live for another GG Super Millions again on Tuesday. We got a question about which soccer team you support. I'll go first. AS Roma, got the ball back there on there. That's my squad. I love that team, and that's my diehard. Who do you support anyone in particular? Oh, there it
The
is. Or is that
Reds,
Arsenal? You got the
the
Arsenal flag.
Gunners,
Okay,
Arsenal.
okay.
Yeah, big Arsenal
I
fan.
actually I actually
Big
went to the
Arsenal fan.
last game. I went to let's see, what was it? In Highbury. So I went to the last Man U versus Arsenal game ever there.
Wow.
That was like pretty cool. That was, they tied 0-0, and I actually was staying with the Anton Ferdinand, who played for West Ham at the time. His brother's Rio Ferdinand. And then after the game was pretty sick because he didn't get on the bus when they went back to Manchester. He stayed in London. Like literally, we were outside waiting on the side, and he just like hopped in a cab, and I rode with them. We went to McDonald's and then out to a nightclub. Like it was his brother, him, and a few of my friends, my
Wow.
buddy who's from the UK, and that was just like, it was paparazzi out with them. Like it was just, I was like in college, you know. It was like I'd never seen really much like that.
That's
It was just like
amazing.
wild time at like a big nightclub in London, and it was, I was like 17 or 18 or whatever in college, and yeah, it was wild, man. Those guys, they party,
I'm
they go
jealous.
hard,
I'm
they English
jealous.
footballers. It was fun. It
Yeah.
was very cool.
I'm
I played in college, so I love the game. That's my game.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that.
yeah,
Oh, I'd love to play.
yeah,
We need to, if you ever in Vegas or
yeah, man.
something in the summer for the World Series, they do the World Cup of Soccer. I played in it this summer, and really cool, honestly, like experience. I think you should join. I guess you join Team US, but we can squeeze you in Team Canada. You've been to Playground enough. We'll count you as a Canadian
Hey,
team member
listen, I know
now.
all about the World Cup. We're two-time winners, man. The USA. I've actually the first ever one we won. It was like we won 2-1 and scored with like 2 seconds left in the final versus Brazil. It was pretty epic. But yeah, I've been playing pretty much every year. I think I played every single one. Maybe one I missed because my son was born that year and wasn't out in big. I forget, but either way,
You didn't play this
I'm there
year,
a
I don't
lot.
think. Yeah, cool. So
Let me
next year,
think.
I'm
Was
I'm
it?
I'm counting to see you.
No, I think I did. I think I did play this year. Pretty
Really?
sure. I think our team got knocked out. We were pretty like a beat up roster. We didn't have like, and I played maybe a couple games. I'm trying to remember. I can't. It blends together now. So there was the World Cup last year in the fall one, or not, I don't know if we did it then. And then I'm almost positive I played. I was. Oh no. You're right. I wasn't because I only was here for two. I was here for like 3 days during the World Series of Poker this year only. That's right. That was like my. This was like my
Okay.
first
Yeah.
legitimate miss this year. That's right. You're right. I did not play. That's right. The year before I
Yeah.
played.
Yeah, it was
But yeah, it's
fun.
fun. So
It
much
was
fun.
fun.
Jack 8, 10-8. No one's got much. And my man Ray Tor goes for, he really doesn't respect the range stuff with the big blind, right? He's just kind
Yeah.
of like, look, like
He just sees
this flop
overcards.
favors you. Oh wow.
Gives him the hurry up. Oh,
I mean,
I'm expecting, honestly, he's gonna check here a lot and just hero off so much on the river. That's what I really expect.
wow.
He should
What
at
a
least.
float flat there. Um
I mean, Eilers must have seen the ace queen barrel and just expects that he might be c betting too wide. So he's flatting because just thinks the opponent is, going for too many c bets, just has a lot of high cards. He can bluff on a lot of runouts. If the turn is like a 3, a turn is an 8, he can just easily start leading. Might think his 10 is still good sometimes, but if your opponent is just betting like all these overcards, like king 10 and ace 10, you might want to fold a bit more. Retour shows the jack. I think, I mean, if he's going to choose like this c bet, it makes a lot more sense than the ace queen one because jack 8 has a gut shot, has 2 overs, has enough equity. It does fold out a lot of better hands. He's going to get auto folds from jack 10, jack 9. He's going to fold out, some queen 10, king 10. A lot of those hands just auto fold. So that one was a better c bet than the ace queen for sure. We got some questions. Panakov does not charge by hour, and I think like someone's asking about like being coached by Panakovs. I mean, it's more of like we're friends. We work together, and he's not a type of coach that's just like accepting anyone or even charging an hourly. For the questions that are asking like about specific hands, honestly, I think it's better, come join my stream anytime. I'll answer them. But for this type of stream, we want to keep the questions a bit simpler. We got I'm expecting another half pot C bet. Yeah, close to it. Artur, I think it nearly always would fold here, but seeing that the guy just always c bets this board might like decide to peel a bit wider. But I think Queen Six is not the best candidate for these spots. He still goes for it.
Yeah, Artur gonna check. Jack's on a connected-ish board, but still, right? He doesn't feel too scared. He also covers nicely, right? It's also nice to have backup if something goes really wrong or something crazy. You still got over 2 mil, but you know,
Yeah.
important pot, important moment. Let's see what he comes with here. Does go for the big bet.
Ooh, big bet. Arthur's flat on the flop is really interesting. It shows you why he's a very good player, because obviously we see the cards and you're like, wow, how do you call there? But he's adjusting to the info that he's seen maybe on stream or from the showdowns that this player is c-betting too much on connected boards. So he's flat. He's continuing with Queen Six there under the assumption that opponent just has too many bluffs in those situations. How long did it take for me to become a professional poker player? I've said this many times. I want to just say that I don't really consider myself a professional poker player because I've always focused on school and real estate and other stuff. I think a lot of players can become really good poker players and not necessarily need to be professionals. And you can see that a lot nowadays in the high stakes scene. You'll have like recreationals that are still really solid. Um, and I think that's a better way to go from my point of view, at least. I think, Jeff, you might agree a bit because, you said you went into podcasting because the lifestyle was too complicated. And for me, at one point I realized, like, if I'm gonna go professional and play a lot, it's not gonna be the type of life that I want, where you're kind of stuck at home enjoying good family time, and that's what I want long term. So I think doing streaming, trying to do some content, play, you know, uh, strategy games, video games, all that type of stuff is a lot more interesting than just playing poker all the time. And anyone else can do that, really. Now you see a lot of like DJs and very different kinds of people getting into poker, crypto people getting into poker as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The game's really growing. I feel like there's been a lot of, honestly, like they say, no press is bad press. The Jack Force situation brought a lot of light to poker. It ended up like not cheating. Like there was a national news. It kind of came in. People were curious, following up on it, going. I'm sure Poker News and other sites got a lot of hits, a lot of. There was a lot of stuff around it. I don't think it necessarily was negative, as it turned out. Right, it wasn't cheating, and also maybe made people more aware, even of like thinking about stuff. What's happening in your home game? What's happening on live stream? Be aware of stuff. Maybe a little more paranoid too, but I think that all in all, like these, yeah, I think poker's an amazing place. I think the health of the game is great. I think that the U.S. obviously legislation, some states have come on, hopefully more to come. Sports betting at a legal federal level has been legalized. There's state by state, many states legalized. I think there's talks of other states coming on soon, and I know it's expanding. So Michigan, that's where I was born and raised. Spent a lot of time in Canada, up in Windsor, playing poker there, Casino Windsor, now Caesars Windsor, and it's a great game. And if in Michigan, it's like my dad plays every day online now. It's like nice that he doesn't have to play on unregulated sites. He can play on
Cool.
some of these sites,
Yeah.
and he loves it. He was, I think he's watching as well right now. But yeah,
I can't wait for the day that it's legalized again in the US. I mean, oh, whoa, hold on. This is a bit of a unexpected play here. All right. Um, Chuck raise, does not really ever make sense in those spots because you never get better hands to fold. You fold out some hands that, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Honestly, you don't have many ace X in your range. A lot of them shove pre-flop from Retour or Lobby. A lot of suited ones and offsuit ones are just shoving pre-flop. So I don't think maybe choosing a hand like 5-4 or something like that suited is going to be a much better check raise than a pair. Let's see. I mean, it looks like Marator finding the thin value bet here is really interesting and good because he probably realized the same thing. Like, you don't have many ace X. Tens is still good. This player seems to be playing a bit different. So, like, he could show up with, these type of hands like Queen 7. But also, Marathor's range here is just going to have a lot of ace X that bet as well.
Wow.
Whoa.
What is going
Whoa.
on? This guy is a legend. Hello. He's using the
Holy.
emojis and he's saying maybe he's picked it up. Everyone this guy's got I mean, this is wild,
This is
dude. He
pretty
might have just poked the
crazy.
bear.
I think Marathon is gonna call. I think it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, here's your opponent's gonna check raise like ace seven, ace three, threes and sevens sometimes, and usually when they fill up on the turn, they kind of go for these like um slow plays. They don't really go for check raise, like check raise, check raise. They want Amara Tour to bluff off some king
Wow,
queen of
there it
spades.
is.
Oh wow, what a call!
He's got the 5
What a
outs, 1 to
call!
come. Calls it right. Can he hold it right? Oh, it is
Ooh, it's
encased.
dead.
Gets the 10 anyway. I mean, there's 5 bad cards. There's 2 to improve. He didn't need to improve, and he will take that. And he is on his quest for number 6. What a moment! What a call! This is actually now what 2.2 million, sitting very
Mara
very
Tour
in
is
it. I
back
mean,
in
he's
it.
sort of way in it, tied
Yeah.
for essentially third place almost, and it's wide open, man. This is we're down to 6. Everyone guaranteed 96,000. So page them start getting juicy.
Yeah, really, really good call by Artur, realizing that this is an opponent that has these random hands sometimes that show up. A Queen 7 there's a lot of things he shouldn't have done there to begin with. I think the defend pre-flop is not you want to defend some suited hands, some connected hands. Queen 7 off is really poor defend because it just doesn't perform well post flop. And the whole line is crazy, check raise with second pair when you clearly don't ever get a better hand to fold, and you fold out some hands you beat as well.
Yeah, well, ace 5 suited flops well, and the middle pair with the nut flush draw, ace 8 continues, does pick up a gut shot, 600K in the middle. Mr. Jibin takes the free one, and now board a little scary, little bit scary. And it is a interesting spot. I mean, the 6-7. Let's see. He's got the calls on the flop. Check turn. If you're Mr. Jive and you lose to 6-7, even you lose to a lot of stuff here. Let's see. And based on how he's playing, we might see a big overbet. We might see a big bet here. This is there.
Yeah,
it is. Goes for a little over pot.
it's a very good bet because he actually, once it goes check on a turn, he basically has an uncapped range versus the opponent. And Misakowski's gonna have a lot of two pairs, a lot of straights. Even like 10-9 that Rivers two pair. Like it just has a he's just gonna win this hand a lot of time. Some people sometimes just check the river because they think their ace high is good enough. They still beat some like king queens and stuff, but you need to turn those into bluffs. It's just you got to play the ranges. Um, looks pretty standard open. Um, flat from Artur is pretty normal in general. You can play some flatting ranges there for sure. They're just very like condensed. You're supposed to be really tight in these spots, so but as long as you balance it with like aces, ace king suited, and kings and stuff like that, which for sure Arthur is doing, that's fine. Goes for a bit of, well, I mean, it's not really thin value. It's actually very standard. Let's see what Thomas does here. He still calls.
Uh-oh. It's the Arthur show. He's getting going. Does snap check back. Does win the pot. 2.5. He is in a comfortable third place all of a sudden. And man, I don't know. The guy just seems to know and get it done. Ray Torre was messing about there, stepped into it. As you said, maybe could have just avoided with the pre-flop fold. That would have been one way to go, and a couple opportunities to not go
Yeah.
crazy, but he did just inflate the pot and put pressure on, and Archer just sniffed it out, found himself in a really good
It's a
spot, does
very
win the pot.
unnecessary play. Like Retour
Right.
had second and chips, it's really unnecessary to just take that bizarre line of like getting it in with second pair. Um, Even the defend pre-flop, you were in a comfortable situation, second and chips. Now you've just doubled up one of the, big. Well, he's the biggest winner, really. You're giving him more
Yeah.
chips. Why would you want to do that? Yeah, this is hand is done as well. I just remembered you said you went to the last game of Arsenal and Highbury, and like that was a dream of mine to at least go to one of those games. I grew up watching them when I was in Lebanon. Just loved the small pitch, the
Yeah, it was
atmosphere.
sick. It was sick how like the fence around the stadium and like the walls and just like very in the middle of the city, right? Like or in the middle of like a like neighborhood. It
Yeah,
was very very crazy. I've been to the Emirates one as well, the newer one. I think I went like the year or two later. I forget, but it was just complete like a brand new state of the art huge
yeah,
stadium, which was cool. But the field authentic. I've been to Craven Cottage too for I think it was Fulham. Been to a bunch of different stadiums around the UK. It was fun. But yeah,
yeah.
that authentic
It's
atmosphere,
really
it's
different.
it's very cool.
Yeah, I was in the
I
at Anfield for Liverpool versus Napoli, and it was unbelievable the atmosphere. There's two like really small crowd, small stadium, but extremely passionate fans.
yeah.
One of the best experiences of my life. Really,
Is Liverpool's
I
is
love
it a
when
small stadium?
passionate people. Yeah,
Is it small?
in comparison to the Emirates, yeah, it's an old stadium. They've kind of upgraded it a few times, but it's a small one. Like when you're going into the stands, I had seats that were the third row, and
Hmm.
when the players are taking the throw in, you can like you're close to smelling them. Like it's really that close. There's space between the stands and the pitch. While in the Emirates, it's completely different story because obviously the Emirates is like a brand new stadium. They had a lot more space to work with. They've designed it in a way that everyone is very comfortable. The seats are much better. I'm 6'1", and like when I was in Liverpool, sitting down, man, I was really uncomfortable. Like I wanted to be standing up the whole time, but they don't let you, which was annoying.
Yeah.
And like some annoying security guard just comes in, please sit back down. It's like, dude, just like, came all the way from Canada, give me a break. Oh, Thomas going for it with the suited ace here. He's been very tight in terms of three betting pre-flop in these spots, so you might actually get this one through. You'll see sometimes Misakowski's gonna like take some suited aces there as a shove. Like has good blockers, but you want to do that against the right players. No, Thomas Moliker is Wushu TM. For those of you that don't know, it's very public knowledge. Very, very good player. It's been very slow final table. A lot of not many bust outs. We're still six-handed. It's 2 hours in. Usually like this these type of final tables only take 2 hours to finish. This is a spicy flop.
Oh yeah.
I think
This is the one. That's the card
wow,
though. The
okay.
ace of hearts. If you're gonna get action killer, that does
Yeah,
kind of change
that
things.
is that's it. It's gonna the pot could have been much bigger on so many turns. Um, Also interesting, Misakowski just check called, but I think it's actually very good check call because Elis was opening as the short stack first to act, and it's generally going to have a very strong range. All right, goes check
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good
Yeah,
pickup
obviously,
for our Eilers.
unfortunate run out. Yeah, a little unfortunate, but
Yeah.
blinds are 40-80. Important pot, nonetheless. 1.8 million could have been worse, right? Could always that's usually the case. Could be worse. And everyone in a fighting shot here. No one's super short. Mr. Jibin now your short stack 1.6. He's been playing snug
Yeah.
and got still has himself in. Mr. Ray Tor is going for it. So he's probably looking around too, saying, "Man, these guys are wild. Like I got a good shot to ladder up at least to fifth, fourth. Let them do some crazy stuff. Maybe I pick up a few big hands." And
Yeah.
he's been avoiding a lot of confrontation.
Interesting sizing here. We've seen him go for the 50% a lot and just, opts for a 1/3. Not that, I'm just saying in general, just keeping an eye on his sizings. Goes half pot on the really wet, sticky boards, and then 1/3 on more of the, kind of brick boards. I think Islet's probably gonna do a block bet here. Expecting like a 2-2-2-2-2 bet again. No, not gonna do that again.
Yeah, 6, 7, 10s.
Let's
He
see
is
what.
10's got to feel good here.
Yeah. The way this guy's been playing, he should have raised a lot. Yeah. Eyeless is gonna fold, I'm sure, but
Yeah, we say that, but at the same time, we've seen him do some kind of wild things here. So, and maybe he just
yeah.
figures he doesn't have a queen. So then it's like, does he do it with eights through jacks, some that type of
And then
hand, or
throws out the emojis again. The thing is, like, let's say Ratour has like ace high or king high or something. He might actually like just call the river if he thinks the opponent doesn't have a queen. But this very small
yeah.
raise is kind of screaming, the same exact hand that he has, like these middling pairs. Um, he hasn't really chose. I mean, he did do that crazy play with Queen 7 though, so shows the 10. Keep him guessing.
Yeah, so Elis is the only. He actually does not have a Super Millions title. Almost 1.8 million in earnings alone. Mr. Jibin does not, and Ray Tor has never played an event here. So he's actually. It looks like his first ever time playing. Not in the money or even an appearance.
Yeah.
So this is be kind of impressive to go first entry, take it down. That is on the table. And D. Misakowski has a win in season 1, and Rodrigo, who just went out, has a win in season 2. So we can see the opportunities here. There's a couple of first-time winners available, and Arts are going for history. So we got a little everything.
Yeah, I showed you before we started the stream. I sent you a picture of who I bet on because GGPoker offers you to bet on the final table, and I went for Elis, Thomas, Moleker, and Artur. So I got three of them. Half my bets are still in. I need them to win. I think I lose money if Artur wins, but if the other two win the tournament, I end up making a good amount. So I got a little bit of a sweat in this. The odds are pretty interesting. I still don't understand how the odds work exactly because yesterday I looked up the odds for who's gonna win, and today they were different. So it looks like they adjust the odds based on who bets on who. Okay. This is. I mean, Thomas might go for a very small bet here, but it does have like all king 10s, king 9 that can bet the river. He will get some under pairs to fold. Misakowski has like deuces through 8s or even through 10s basically. He does also have like some ace highs. He'll have like, oh, it goes for a big bet. I do like the bluff. This should work a lot, and he does have a lot of king X in his range for him to accomplish this.
Yeah, nice bet. Obviously, not a. You got the hand that can't fold, and that is going to be a nice pot. The chip leader is going to actually extend his lead for the first time. We have someone over 5 million takes a nice position. We're actually seeing a shakeout a little bit where he could maybe really put a lot of pressure on. He's got a great seat on the direct left of second, stack 3.5 million. So really shaking out nicely for Misakowski. Pronounce that right. I like how you say it better, but he's in a good spot. Whatever, mispronunciation or not, he is in position. Here we go. Jacks to eights, 3 million in the middle. Elias has the best hand. Does he gonna fade? A is gonna turn it, drawing dead. Arthur is not gonna be able to win that hand, but he is still in the game. Still has 1 million chips. Elias becomes
Still
a lot
has
closer
chips.
now.
He was short before and came back still after that 10s hand, so he's still alive. And on this final tables, like these stacks, they can still easily win 2 all-ins and just become chip leader. I got 5th in this 4 weeks ago, and when it was 5-handed, I was actually the shortest, and then I became second in chips, winning 2 all-ins really quickly, and I still got 5th. So like roller coasters.
For sure. Well, let's take a quick break and a message from Club GG. All right, welcome back. There's that J4 hand. I gotta feel we're gonna see that for many years to come on different variations and memes and such. That is definitely one of the more famous poker hands now in the history of the game, no question about it. And it's funny enough, when I started playing poker in home games, like 25 cent 50, when I started coming up, Jack 4 suited was my favorite hand. Like I would make full houses, make flushes, and before knowing about any kind of equities or how the game really works or position or anything, just like in the first couple of months, I don't know. It's really random and weird, right? But it just kind of probably, I was playing any suited cards, and my name's Jeff, Jay, like whatever. It was suited. I would play and probably make bad calls free and just be in there more often. I have no idea, but I don't know why that hand, but like that hand, I would just like make a lot of full houses with it. Here, though, we see some spikes, and Arthur is going to get a shot with a nice, big, healthy 3-bet. He finds it, and that is cold because Elias knows that he is gonna have to actually. It looks like he is gonna call, put it in, and now he is behind. And Arthur, and it just something feels fishy here. It feels like something could happen, but it's so far. Oh, equity on the turn. Can Arthur do it? Can he hold it? Is it? It is faded.
He's back in
Fades
it.
Fades it.
See, 1 all in.
Wow.
1 all in.
Wow,
really
wow,
good,
man. 2.6
million.
Oh, there's yeah, Mr. Jibin. He definitely put the emoji WAP. That was one on that hurt him. He wanted that. He wanted that pay jump. It was a big one. Get the 6-figure score. First time playing on. I'm sorry, not for him. For Ray Tor, would have been his first time playing lock of a 6-figure score. And Mr. Jibin has only played a handful of times with 2 cashes in this event before. So yeah, let's see if he can keep alive here as he gets a bit shorter. And Jack 7 suited, chip leader doing chip leader things, going to shove. Of course, 310 off, no decision, but I like the shove. Going to make some better hands fold for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's back in 3rd in chips after being short from Arthur, so you can never rule out any small stacks on these final tables. It's always possible to come back. Opening pretty good. I mean, not the best spot for him to open because you have the cutoff and the button both having a lot of trips. But Arthur is Arthur. He just doesn't really care. He's not scared of confrontation. So very normal open for him. You'll see some players pass up these situations sometimes. Been a wild final table, to be honest. Like,
yeah, it's been fun. Been some cool hands, cool bluffs.
Unexpected, yeah. Misakowski just been chip leader the whole way, playing very solid, realizing when to open wide, when to take some 3-bet spots. Not also just like not really punting. You know, it's really important when you're chip leader just not to blast it off and go too crazy. He folded a couple of spots that I've definitely seen players just go for it. When he had ace-8 suited, got 3-bet by Thomas's ace-7 suited, he just folded ace-8 suited, realizes there's no real point to just 4-bet, get it in sometimes against a pocket pair or something like that.
Yep. Jack 6 suited for a min raise here, facing a min raise, Mr. Jibin. We do have a giveaway. I gotta tell you, oh, that's something I forgot, man. You know what? There's a lot going on today. It's been a wild final table. Let's do that right now. So we're gonna give the audience, I let them sort of pick one already. Why don't you pick a player? I'm gonna give them Arthur going for his 6th title. You pick a player, I'll pick a player for who they have. If they were to win, it's $100 giveaway at the end of the stream instead of a 50. So just choose a player. I already chose Archer for them. I'll choose one myself, and then you choose. You pick a player that the audience can sweat for the extra 50 bonus.
I'm gonna go. Gotta go with Miskowski now. He just has all the chips.
Yeah, let's do it, and then
It's
I'm
for a
gonna throw
giveaway.
in.
Yeah.
It's for a giveaway. I'm gonna throw in Ray Tor. I feel like he's a wild card. It's his first time playing. It's kind of fun. We already give you the chip leader, give you the most decorated player here. So you guys got 3 people to be for a shot at the 100 instead of 50, and I like it. I like your chances. You get 50% of the remaining field with 6 left, and wow, here we go though. Mr. Jibin hanging in here with the pair, ace 10. Thomas thinking what to do.
Pretty sticky call on the flop. So do I get to pick another one, or
No, that was just for the audience. Like
Three.
they got 3 guys now. They have Misakowski,
The top
they've
top
got
3?
Archer, and they've got Ray Tor. Yeah, I think that's fair, right? That's theirs to lose at this point.
The chips have been all over the place. Arthur started second in chips, went all the way down to short stack. Now he's third. Retour was one of the smallest stacks. Also enjoyed a bit of chip leader for a bit. Played a bit aggressive. Was bullying Mr. Jibin for a while. Thomas has been kind of sticking around the whole time, very quietly, building up some chips. Taking a bit of advantage of playing. Ooh, okay. Saw the first card and the second card, and we know there's going to be a big pot.
This has got all the makings. It's nice when you have bottom set, you unblock the pairs, other pairs, right? It's the top pair, and that is just what he got. Chip leader with the King Jack, and this is an interesting spot. You're the chip leader, you got top pair, pretty good kicker. You got a player firing. This thing gets changes a little, board gets a little wilder, but also going to be a lot of checkbacks with Queen X from Thomas, right? So this card actually, it could hurt Misakowski. Might even lead, right? You see this sometimes where players.
Yeah, it might lead.
There we go.
And it's kind of a good mix. You get value from ace X of spades. You still beat some king 10, king 9 that I always call as well. You do lead with some of your queen X here, but in general, he actually, I believe, should be checking a lot here. He definitely has more queen X in his range, though, that's for sure. Miskowski is defending all suited queen X and a lot of like queen 10 off plus. I mean, technically they should fold pre, but because of ICM and action killer. Just unfortunate for Thomas. He's probably just crying right now. There's a pillow on his left. He just buried his head into it like, no, why this river? Never going to make money on it. Expecting just to check fold a lot. And at this point, like, there's basically no bluffs from Thomas, like maybe 10-9 of spades.
I think he just goes big though, right? Because
yeah,
Maybe because
I mean, for Misikowski,
Miss
it's just like,
he can have Jack 10. He could have Jack 10 or some other hand. I mean, he could have some strong hands here. Yeah, just gonna go for the jugular.
yeah, yeah, very easy fold for Misikowski, just because there's really not many bluffs here. But he's also gonna have much better hands to call, like Queen X. Again, technically, he has all Jack 10s in his range as well. They would play the same way, and I mean, sometimes Jack 10 might bet the river, but the ace. I mean, the interesting spot about that river spot, like, is Thomas is gonna have a lot of ace X that actually also check back. They're not really gonna bet. So, I've been just going all in here. Ilis has been having a lot of scores recently. He's been kind of crushing. I think he won a couple of big events on PokerStars recently, and now he's on this final table. Not his first time here as well. Still sticking through. Finds the dominating hand here. Flop for him.
Yeah, Jack deuce suited 2-3 off is a call with the gut shot. Maybe some intentions on later streets if the player were to slow down, but neither player has a hand. 2-3, the actual nut low on the turn.
Yeah, he's playing another game. He's playing one of those mixed games. I started learning those recently. I'm liking them. Kind of excited for the World Series coming up soon to play more of these mixed games. Nice bet. Tom is gonna have a really hard time with some 5x, 7x on the turn there when Ilis goes that size. So very good bet in general. Do you play a lot of mixed games, Jeff?
I love high low, Omaha high low. I actually got a good run, 5th place other year in the World Series. Like maybe I think it was the winter, right? The fall WSOP got 5th in the 10K high low. But I like that's sort of the extent of it. I'm not playing a ton of other games. Omaha high low I love, and PLO 4, PLO 5 I like to play it. What about you?
I've never really played much, but this year I guess I got a bit bored and decided to learn some of these games. I've been playing for so long, yet somehow I never tried them. And I started playing Deuce to 7, Triple Draw. I really like it. The Doogie. They're just really different. And I find it cool to learn some of these new games because, I'm learning by playing, trying to figure out the strategy. Kind of just like a cool puzzle solving thing to do. Oh, Tom check raise here after limp calling pre-flop. Very interesting. I do like it as well. He's gonna have a lot of limp calls, King X that check raise. He has gut shot, 2 overs. Definitely gets those type of hands to fold. Nice play by Thomas.
Very nice. Actually, do you study hands? Like, do you take hands and review from? Will you like note hands and do stuff? Do you do that often, like from final tables? Is that like one of the ways you'll? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I take off.
I'm in a. Sorry, you go.
No, I think it's one of the best ways. I love to do that too. Like take hands, look at spots, stuff where I'm kind of like shocked or surprised, especially when it's like a great player that I know, right? If I'm like not sure on something, I'm like, it's easy when you know it's like one of the top players in the world that it's good or they're doing something creative or for the right reason most of the time. So I think it is a really cool way to study and learn and more fun, right? More fun. Solver work and all that stuff's cool, but like getting to watch and review hands from spots are a lot of fun, definitely. How many, like how much of your time would you say, what percentage of your studying do you do watching tournaments?
I'd say like around 60 to 70% of overall study is just me watching, but also thinking a lot about spots while I'm playing. So, like, let's say I'm not in a hand and I'm just watching 2 other players play. I'm always just thinking of their range versus the other player's range. I'm always curious about that. I think that's one of the easiest ways to learn as well, is to always keep your brain on, even if you're not playing the hand. So that's one thing that I think a lot of players struggle with, is if they're not in a hand, they kind of just turn off and start thinking about something else, butterflies or where their next strip is going to be or whatever. But if you're spending time playing poker, might as well spend every moment of it, in that situation, to study and try to think of what the other players should be doing.
Right.
And
Yeah, I like this check here
when I stream, I'm
from
always
Elis.
doing that. Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Ooh.
This is a great card to have, the Jack. He's got top pair, the Jack, Black's Jack 10. Archer also knows, like, hey, this is one of the cards I should be bluffing, right? If I'm on the button, I have the Jack 10 suiteds, and I go for it. So, I mean, Eli, obviously with the backup 2 diamonds, got top pair, blocking the nuts, and has a diamond. And here we go. Interesting spot, big river, a lot of money in the middle, and he is going to be, let's see what he comes up with, because he has got both players with the similar stack, SPR about 2/3, right? Not even a full pot size bet behind. And will Archer go for the slam?
I mean, man, I feel like he is gonna go for it. Arthur doesn't hold back, but it doesn't really work that much because you don't get much to fold. Yeah, good check back. Arthur likes to bluff, so I kind of expect that. It's, even though he bluffs a lot, he still is so good that he realizes, like, I'm not getting much to fold. I let seep at the flop, check called the turn. It would have been different if he check called twice. Like, if Eyeless check called twice, then he can have a lot of queen X of diamonds and just auto fold the river. But to bet the flop and check call makes the whole situation different. Eyeless would have had a really tough spot with King Jack, but I think he'd probably end up calling. Blocking, I think King Queen of diamonds there is very important. Miskowski should be playing a raise only strategy here. Yeah, really good spot for Miskowski to just put a lot of aggression in these spots, because Eyeless, there's 2 very short stacks and you can ladder up and make 60k if they bust. So Miskowski gets to 3x or 3.5x even sometimes, very wide in these situations. Oh, you got 2 big hands here.
Yeah. This is in
there.
Ace King 10s. These are those.
Lot.
Yep.
There's C5, Jeff.
Almost. Yes. This is one. Archer going for his 6th title. Needs to win this one. He has the best hand, and this is just a timing down to 2 minutes. Makes me think that Thomas is playing a lot of tables. Also, maybe he's like, you know what, I'm gonna take a little bit of time. Like, I don't have such a strong hand, but as it plays, that turns out he is gonna be a dog slightly. Ace King to 10, still a dog, 73% clean turn, and Mr. Jibin is rooting for something to change the order of hand rankings right now, but it's not. 3 million going to Archer's way. Few is right, and it is a whole new ball game as he is in
chips now.
Tied for second, almost exactly tied, but it's tight at the top with Elis as well. So now Thomas and Mr. Jibin are confused, as the emoji would allude to, that they are in a tough spot. They're at the bottom looking up, and the rich have got richer, and Archer is really trying to do, like I said, he's got chips, he's dangerous, and he is on his way.
He's been all over the place. It's crazy. Archer's been jumping around the whole. He hasn't been chip leader yet, but he's went from 2nd place to last place so many times in this tournament. Crazy swing. Oh, I think we're gonna see in 5 again. We standard all in. Gonna be a call very often as well.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of those things why aggression's so powerful. Mr. Jibin hates calling off here, flipping at best. Yeah, I actually think there's a slight chance that he folds. We see calls, so no, but it would be kind of a crazy fold. We see the ace queen suited though fold before, and as it turns out, he is now a dog on the turn. Look at the whole, many outs, too many. It might be too many, but it is Archer, and it is a 7. That'll do it. Tough run for Mr. Jibin, who just couldn't quite get it going. Was playing cautious, he's gonna get a little unlucky that no one busted on the all in, several flips and spots, but at the same time was never really a force, right? Never really asserted himself. Played cautiously, but a good score nonetheless. Just about 100,000, 96,982 going his way, and that is
Yeah.
a way to nice job. I mean, anytime you take sixth place at a Super Millions, you're gonna get some money. You're gonna have a nice ROI, and hope to see him again. Well played overall. Just I think to your point, was a little passive in some key spots.
Yeah, I still remember the ace queen suited fold. I think that was, you should revisit that and think about it a bit more. You can't just rule out that a player that made the final table is going to be that tight. Like Roturo Lobby has been clearly battling, but I guess at the time he didn't know that. But ace queen suited. If I fold that, the poker police would come and arrest me and put me in prison for a year. I'm sure of it. If you find me folding ace queen suited on my stream, you call the police, please. I think I'll call him on myself. I think my wife will disown me if I fold.
Yeah. Oh man, that
I have a
that
question
reminds me
for
of
you.
one of the funniest. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Your story, because my question's short. So what's your funny story?
There's this guy that likes to play in this high stakes no limit game for years. At this, it was in Houston, where I travel in like twice a week. But there's this one player, this legendary guy, funny, like just complete gambler, like high stakes games. But there's one time at like 5 a.m, he was losing so much money, and he was on such tilt. He was talking about like blowing the place up, like going crazy. Then he like took out his cell phone. He didn't really call 911, but he was like pretending like that. He wasn't like joking around. And he was like, he called 911. He was like, he called the police like at the thing, like, there's a fucking game going here. Come arrest everyone. Like, come in. Like, he was like ranting, spewing tilt, and like act like he was calling the police. It was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But he wasn't he wasn't trying to be funny. He was like acting like he was doing it. And it was just like, it was honestly one of the funnier things just of who he is, how upset he was, and what he was like doing. And I mean, I've never laughed that hard. But it's also a little scary, right? Because he was upset. So it was just.
Was his name Phil Hellmuth by any chance?
No, maybe related, but no, was not him.
I mean, he did the
yes.
same exact thing on a final table in the World Series. So
similar, it was similar, but more so he was saying to call, like he was trying to just like act like there's a poker game going on. You got to come break it up. It's like he was like, come over here, come here. There's a game, but he was like in the game, and like playing in there. It's just it was a lot. It was a lot to watch. But what was your question?
Yeah. Well, you're an experienced adult. Is the best way to say. You told me you moved on from poker. We have a. Oh wait,
hold on. We got a situation here.
Yeah, this is
wow.
This is pretty sick, actually.
Yeah, going to be a fold for the 8. So Artur going to find himself a little extra equity on a flip. Has the best hand. Thomas though going to pair that jack right away, take a big lead, and has him down to 2 outs. Yeah, well, would have, could have, if nope. Is it yeah? They would have.
No,
baby,
no.
right? That's a 4 or something, or 3.
Yeah, it needs 3 picks.
Yeah. So, what was your question?
So I was gonna ask if you have any experience dealing with fruit flies. Very random question, but
not really.
Driving me nuts.
No. What, like at your place right now?
Yeah, so
like right here.
Very nice background. Everyone's like, "Wow, cool bar and stuff." But honestly, like it smells like all like trash here because we have so much vinegar on the counter trying to catch these freaking fruit flies. Because I went on vacation for 3 weeks and I'm in charge of the bar, right? So like this is in our house. I'm in charge of the basement. I cleaned it before I left, but I forgot one lemon. Just forgot it on the counter. And we came back and it just turned into mold full of fruit flies. And you can't see it, but it's disgusting. Like and they're driving me nuts. Like if you'll see me like look around on a screen during the stream a few times. It's just because there's like a fruit fly flying around, and I'm trying not to kill it on stream. Keep that nice guy
Yeah.
image. You don't hurt fruit
I
flies.
can't say I can't say I do. I cannot say that I do.
I hope chat knows. I need some fruit fly expert in here. Guarantee
I
there's some
can't. Yeah,
guy
no,
to be
no.
like, I've been hunting fruit flies for my whole life. There's always a chat pro for every topic.
There's an
Sure,
expert.
there's a guy.
There's for sure experts.
Yeah.
No doubt about
17
it.
years.
No doubt about that.
I've been all over the world killing fruit flies.
There's someone. I would bet on it. We got a nice audience today. We got 1,200 watching. Appreciate you guys being in here. Please hit that thumbs up. We'll do the giveaway soon. Ace Queen, Ace 6 here. Wow.
Arthur just went
Artur missteps. Ace Queen. Elis is got to fade the river and the river only, or he will be with almost 5.5 million. And it is. Ooh, is it? It's sort of downstairs, close, but not quite. Nice pot for Elis. Wow, big
Huge
moment.
pot. Elis was super short, and now he's chip leader, or second in chips at least.
And that's
but yes,
the number one player goes out. I thought, wow, he was covering. I didn't realize he was covering. And look at that, 28 million, man. You got to say that. Can you even say that? That is insane with 6 million. That is your number one ranked Super Millions player out the door. Will not get a 6th title, but that guy can play some cards. And, plays like that, like you said, people are willing to go for it. Going to have more titles, less 6th, 7th, 8th. And that is a big
for the 28
there.
million. Out of respect for the 28 million, we got to give Artur the rooster. Little clap.
I love it. There it is, man. There, the number one player goes down and makes an aggressive maneuver. Got to respect it. And Elis, who we said was at a topic of discussion this week, kind of got caught in a bizarre spot. Wish him the best. Hope it all works out with that situation. And he did shed light on that, I believe, it publicly 2+2 about sort of a discrepancy we touched on earlier in the show. So hopefully that works for him. Yeah, that was
that happened
strange,
really quickly. It was just an open and an all in, like really quick by Artur. A bit on the wide side, but he must think Elis is opening really wide there. You want to take your wheel aces a lot of the time there as a shove. Ace 6 suited, just you can be more on the fold side, or even 3-bet fold as well. All right, let's see. We got some chat pros about the fruit flies. I'm curious what they're saying. Keep the lemon away. Well, of course. I'm not gonna leave a lemon on a counter again. Thank you. Get a toad.
Yeah, don't.
Listen. My name is not Bryn Kenny.
The lemon advice. Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing what people will come up with, and it's hard. There's a lot of fake news out there these days. There really is. People just say a bunch of different things. So gotta be careful what you listen to. But as we know, we are down to 4 players. Everyone guaranteed 157,000. 3 very experienced players here, and Raytor we don't know much about, but he has shown the willingness to get aggressive.
For it. Yeah, he's going for it. He's fighting. It's actually a good 3-bet in general. Against the chip leader, is going to be opening really wide here and has to fold a lot. Finding a good offsuit blocking. Ooh, I don't like the shove. I really don't like the shove. Very odd play. Ace jack suited, there's 100% just a flat. You want to keep in all the hands you dominate because he is going to find all these like offsuit or some suited aces that 3-bet. You never fold out ace queen, ace king. A lot of those polarized range 3-bets are going to be offsuit really weak hands, and maybe some suited like connected baby cards. But like I think shoving there is definitely a mistake. If you shove there and you get called by ace king, you're like, God damn it, I'm an idiot. And then when you watch the stream and see him fold a hand that you completely dominate, you have a lot of equity against. It's the same thing. So ace jack should just always be a flat there. We got people suggesting the apple cider vinegar. I've tried that. My sink in the back is basically all apple cider vinegar. And it's working, but there's too many of them. Way too many fruit flies.
Yeah. That's
someone knows
that's
what.
Well,
some interesting suggestions in chat.
Thomas knows Jack 7 defend and flop trips on the ace 4 with the king, Jack Jack, 2 heart board. So pretty nice starting situation. His opponent could be drawing close to dead, which is sort of that. Needs the running queen 10 or ace ace. That's pretty specific. Feels good and does actually raise here. Maybe put a king in a tough spot, get charge the hearts, queen 10. There's enough hands, right? He doesn't have. There's some cards that he wants to have some bluffs here too. So a nice raise picks it up, and would put a king in a tough spot or hearts for sure. So nicely done. Picks up. Elis and Miskowski are the 2 chip leaders, relatively close. Then we got 2 of the shorter stacks as well.
Yeah, this is
bunched.
Elis really doing the comeback here. I mean, he was short for so long. He's back in it now. Thomas still in there as well. Those guys were, I think, like 7th and 8th starting the final table. Elis and Thomas, and Ratour was 6th as well, I think. So like those guys are all still in, while Arthur was 2nd in chip and finishes 5th. So you always see this type of stuff on these final tables, these really tough final tables. The chip leaders never really always win because a lot more variance when everyone's playing extremely aggressive. Someone suggested the flamethrower. There we go. That's what I want to hear. That way, now if I actually use the flamethrower, burn my bar, and my wife comes back and she's angry, I can say that it wasn't my idea. It was chat that suggested it, and I can get away with it. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. Then I can build an even bigger and cooler bar. Smart.
Wow, this is bad news for Ray Torre here. I'll tell you what, because he is got bet right into a bad spot here with Ace Jack. I mean, kind of got to be alarming to him when he gets raised, right? But like, I guess what are you doing? You're so high up in your range. There's really nowhere to go. I guess you just call, and then this even now you're chopping with aces. That's not a good card for you because you chop with all the ace X. But either way, I don't really see much of a path to get away. Although, what the check back?
Wow.
Interesting
Very
line.
interesting check back. Yeah. Very tricky. I kind of like it. I was gonna say like raising the flop in general, like is very polar. It's gonna be like maybe some like 5-4, 4 deuce, 5 deuce. Sometimes they're just attacking.
Now it's the big bet, right? This has got to be the big bet. Like, you got like, I will get you off a chop, go for 1.2, 1.1. This has got to be like full stuff here, I believe. This is going to be a big boy bet. It goes very big, but not quite over pop. But this is Ray Torre. Man, does call tilted, but maybe. Don't know. It'd be interesting though if he went bet turn and bet big river, if he even gets it anyway, right? Maybe he was just getting 2 streets and did get a big bet there.
I think
probably would have got it.
He would have probably got some, but I do think like in general you're not gonna find many bluffs from opponent that check back pre raise flop when you have a ace high advantage a lot, and then bet turn and shove river. Like there's just not many bluffs. Like I think you call turn and just fold rivers. And maybe start calling like some of the 2 pairs or something like that. Like if you have ace queen or like ace 10, you don't have to call every ace. Oh. I think this is a 10 big blind shove. It's pretty close for Eilers, but I think in the big blind he always calls. I mean, it really depends how he views this player is playing all in ranges pre. But Ratour has been kind of on the wider side in general. So like ace 7 suited, like definitely ace 8 suited you go with.
Wow. Big shove. And ace 7 suited is behind ace king off. Decent flop for a
chopping
chance for a chop opportunity on the river though. We are going to see it is a 6, so close. That slow peel, man. Do you like it, or Like it or love it, the slow peel, or do you have what do you think? You like the rabbit cam? Do you
I
use these
I
features?
love it. I love it. Yeah, I think anything that makes things a bit more entertaining and more fun, I love it. So the peel just makes you definitely kind of sweat it a little bit more, you know. Um, I've enjoyed it because you also start playing guessing games. You know, you see like the side, you're like, oh, it might be this or that. I do it a lot on my stream, like always. Once I see one side, I'm like, oh, it could be this or that really quick within 1 second. And you get the chat kind of
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah. Want to remind the chat, we will very quickly announce the keyword. You are going to win $50 or $100 today. Somebody, you are going to need to put your GG username after the keyword. So if you don't have a GG poker account, if you're in a jurisdiction you can't have one or you don't have one and you want to participate, feel free to. And if you win, choose a friend or someone you know that has one, or at least find out what their GG username is now, so you're ready for that giveaway. And who's still eligible? We got two of the three, right? We have Ray Tor and Misakowski that are eligible. So you guys have two of the four
Yeah.
still. You got about 9 million chips to 5 million, or what, 6 million chips roughly advantage. So it's 50 or 100 either way, guys. I hope you're enjoying. Hope you hit that thumbs up and do enter in the giveaway at the end of the show here. We will be awarding that ticket, $50 or $100. And like I said, I'm biased to GG, part of the team GG. So is Beriuzy, but definitely got the
Yeah.
best tournaments, best software. It's a good place to be. Happy to be here at this time in poker, no doubt about it.
Kind of interesting spot for yeah, I like this. I like this. Just puts so much pressure on Jack X, 10X, King X, even Ace X, you know. Wild final table. Misakowski going for aggression as chip leader. Good spot given there's two stacks of 20 bigs. This is usually going to be like a range C bet from Misakowski. Doesn't need to really go big because there's so many auto folds.
Yeah.
Pilot just always calls, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one where Mizakowski's not gonna love what's going on. Although it doesn't have a diamond, and it's hard to make top pair. It is blind on blind. Does he ever go aggressive here? It's not unfathomable, although it's a little bit unlikely,
Oof.
but not unfathomable. And he does go for it.
Yeah. I think you have to kind of think about some things here. If you barrel here wide and lose the pot, you also lose chip lead. So right now, Misakowski will lose the spot, but in general, like, oh, I think on the turn he's just attacking too thin of a range. Maybe some pocket pairs, some King X, but like diamonds never fold. Maybe he might, Eyeless might have some King X of clubs. I get what he's trying to target, but he does block like Ace 7 of hearts, Ace 9 of clubs, so that's kind of nice as well. But I think having some equity there on the turn is a bit more important. Like at least having a 5-4 suited or something like that can still improve instead of just like an absolute 0% airball hand against the continuing range. So now Eyeless is chip leader, and that's what changed. Just from that turn decision of barreling clearly too wide. If you're gonna do it with 9-7 off, you're just gonna start doing it too much. You now lost the chip lead. Eyeless is a very aggressive player, very good player, and he also has position on you. You've kind of just switched the whole dynamic of the final table by deciding to barrel too wide.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very. I mean, Elis is now in position, man. He has got the spot. He's got the chip lead. He has got direct position on the next biggest stack, and he has got a license to fire. Here he goes to work with queen seven off. The computer hand known is heads up. That means if you're playing heads up poker and you get dealt queen seven off suit, that is dead middling to expect what if you have the better or the not better hand, and that is a raise in the button versus two shorter stacks. And here he goes, 7-9 suit. He gets to go to work, and king jack off. We saw Ray Tour pass up earlier. A little different spot, but obviously the jump between fourth and third, real money. Talking about 44,000 roughly, 43 and change. But does he decide that this is a spot to take a stand? He does. Nice recognition of what's going on, and that matters a lot, right? He's risking himself to go out first, but he does pick up a big difference now between himself and the shortest stack, and he's got a hand here. Eights, ace three off for Thomas. Does fold, gets out of the way, and what he would not know now, but it is would have ran into it. And here, Ray Tour is going to go for a limp. Very interesting.
Ooh, interesting. Sneaky. Ooh,
so he's still equity wise. Yeah, this could be a 500, 440. Nope.
Just checks. Flops a set. Yeah, Retour going to that king jack off was good realization that Eyeless is now chip leader. He's going to be opening much wider. King jack definitely benefits from folding a lot of better hands. Definitely folds out king queen for a 20 big blind shove last time. So nice shove by him. See what he does here. He's been kind of like passing up some spots for Retour. Playing a bit on the tighter side. As opening ranges, but I think now he's four-handed. I read that he only has like 100K cashes total lifetime, so he's already at like doubling that nearly. If he gets third place, he doubles his lifetime cashes, which is crazy. So it's a really big spot for Retour, and he's been playing really well. For a low stakes player to come into a big final table like this, he didn't play scared. He was squeezing, three betting a lot. Impressive to see that. So another wet board, Queen Jack 10, two suits, and we saw that earlier that he was always c-betting 50%, and now he chose 33%. Just a little observation.
Yeah, I agree. Elis has got, I feel like it's just sort of shaken out. It's sort of right in his wheelhouse right now, but no rollovers here. It's not like he just gets to barrel and take it down. He will get some pretty nice spots where he's going to get less contention and resistance, but at the moment, still anyone's game. And Ray Tour is in there with sevens, gets million in the pot. Not a particular. This guy really doesn't he has no fear. I just feel like he like goes by the rule. It's so hard to make a pair and hold them, and I'm just gonna fire. And like people shouldn't have anything.
Has more 4x in his range. Lead benefits from getting some value from like king 10, 1 spade and stuff like that, but also protects from 2 overcards. So you realize that really quickly. Good on him. He's definitely got some tricks up his sleeve, but we saw that Queen 7 hand earlier against Arthur, where it was just like a extremely bizarre play. What's the longest final table? In terms of length? I guess the big
around 3 hours. There's been a couple. Right? There's been a couple that have been around 3 hours. This is definitely like taking on the longer side. Still four-handed. We are 3.5 hours already? Or I'm sorry, 2.5 hours. So it's got the these things can go fast though. You see a double knockout, you get the heads up, whatever. A guy goes out three-handed, someone short. It can really go in a blink of an eye. We did see the first hand dealt, right? Queen 10 suited. Stevie Chidwick jams on the open, runs into a queens behind, and we were down to 8. But just kind of it just depends.
Ooh. This is we're gonna see 5. We're gonna see 5.
Oh, here we go. Here it is. Deuces, ace, queen. The pair is ahead. No one has a diamond. Board pairs. Picks up some outs. counterfeit
lot of
outs.
outs
Needs
still.
a river. Nice hand. He already knows it. Is that a jack king? It's
Oh,
not a lady. It is
king.
a king, and that is going to split the uprights, but not be good. My man is out. Thomas and Elis is up to the massive chip lead now. He has got a almost 2-1
Game,
lead
Thomas.
on second. Good game, Thomas, number 10 all time. So you're really talking about some royalty for Super Millions and online poker players. And this is a guy I've played with a fair amount live before the pandemic, and definitely a guy you see at the table, is not giving anything away, and don't like to see him. Although he's a very pleasant, nice person, he is a very tough opponent. So that is another score,
Yeah.
6 figures going in his resume, down to 3. And got an alarm going here. This is where we are in that bonus time. This is sort of after the allotted normal time, you would think, but we are definitely down to 3, and things move fast, and everyone guaranteed 200,000. Big score. Now I'm going to actually key up the giveaway. We've got 149 thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for doing that on your own. If you want to enter the giveaway, only hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. But if you hit the thumbs up, type keyword. It's going to be, let me do this, keyword, and it will be Beriuzy, GG, and then insert your, that's a keyword. So it is Beriuzy, GG _ your name. Nightbot said I'm spamming. I'm not spamming. I'm just doing giveaways. I'm trying to give some work for the people. So we have we do have the giveaway. It's going to be $50 or $100, one of the two, and it is. We are gonna see $50 or $100. Good luck. Type in Beriuzy GG, and we will then enter your name or
Maddening's lead.
yeah, we are gonna
When
see
your
50.
alarm rang, I thought you had a cricket problem in your house, the same way I have.
No, it could be. It could be there. That can happen. That can definitely happen.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is it's
He
coming
got
in. Ace King,
moves.
King 3. He's got a little out of line. He's not
He
sure
has moves.
not sure if it's gonna work, and he is gonna ship it in. My man's rocking the emojis as well. And there's
He's
a
got
quick pull.
moves,
Tor is fun, man. He's fun to watch.
Oh, look at chat go.
All right. Well, this time he's gonna. Yeah, the chat's fired up, man. Got 1,100 watching, 165 thumbs up. So eligibility.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Type in the keyword.
Like.
And then good luck to you. It's 50 or 100.
Like the video and subscribe. Say that on my channel a lot. And here as well. Support the channel.
Yeah, Beriuzy, give him some love, man, on the socials. He's a
gonna
young buck. He's 30. He's active. He's streaming. He's in the mix. Give him some love. I know that Twitch grind. It's fun, man. I know the feeling. It's like you just want to go live. You just want to make magic, make memories, win money, and have fun. That is what it's all about.
Oh yeah, I love it. I did it out of choice too. Like I watched so many streams for a long time, including yours, and I think it was just during COVID. I was like, look, I think I would enjoy doing this, and it's exactly what happened. I just started doing it and never looked back.
It is fun. I remember seeing my first streams. I was watching Jamie Staples, Jason Somerville, Kevin Martin, and then got hooked up with Badrin, where he was doing like all these overlays for streams. We started talking. He made me one. I saw also Killing Bird, Derek. His, and I saw like Badrin's information for at the bottom an email, and I talked to him. We hit it off, became very close, and then he's been working with me for like 7 years and done some work with Bill Perkins, and sort of like took off from doing a lot of stuff and focusing. But that was like I remember where I was. I came up with the name. I was like, I'm gonna call it Rhymes Poker Flow Show Surfer. I had a logo, and like Phil Locke hugged me and was like, "This is $1 million idea." We were at Panorama Towers in Vegas. He's like, just like hugged me. He's like, "I love this. This is good for you. You're gonna love this, doing this." And I just remember that whole like the journey. It's so fun, right? To constantly change the logo, change the overlays, like new camera, new equipment, new mic.
Yeah.
Like figure it out and like get better and what works. So I actually do want to ask while I have you here. I know we're shorthanded. Like, what is your optimal tables you play? that you feel like? What is the like amount of tables you're generally, you know,
It depends
like what do
on
you
what
usually
type of
play?
stream I'm going for. I play 8. Sometimes I go for 12 when I feel like the stream is only going to be good if I make a final table. So I just need to up my volume. Um, but what happens is when I play more tables, I end up also, not putting on a really good stream from my standards. Like I like to always be entertaining. Like I never shut up during my stream, literally. Like, if you find me not speaking for more than 2 minutes, call the police. Like I'll always be talking. So
Yeah,
it
for
does
sure.
depend. On Sundays, I usually play less. I play 8 tables because it's a big Sunday. Like I'm playing the 10K. I'm playing really like 25 to 30,000 in buy-ins. I don't need to put a lot of tables.
Right.
Oh, I think this is gonna be a big one. Yeah.
Okay, this is the pot of the day. The giveaway's live. People are
Huge
hitting
bet.
thumbs up. People are fired up. Ace King suited to fives. What it all comes down to. Wow! In a full
Oh,
action, we got nut flush.
sweat.
Oh, he's got to hit the
It's a
spade that
sweat.
doesn't bear the board. Can he do it? He says sorry. 16%. It is a it's a spade. Is
Oh,
it paired? The board is it clean? It
it,
is. What is it? Says it's clean. It is a clean spade. And Elis
it's
says sorry,
clean.
but Ray
You got
Tor
a
is not sorry. Wow. Hand of the day.
new chip
Here we
leader.
go. Ray Tor. Ray Tor is right back in it, man. He is officially on a mission. Is this a first timer? Is that just confirming? Is that what I said there earlier? Let's see. That's a Ray Tor lobby. It's zero. He has 0 entries. This is his first. He is chip leader. He is
Yeah.
trying to get it done for the chat for the $100 giveaway as well. And he has got the lead in Elis when there it is. Reserve parking. Rooster Burst. It's unauthorized.
This is your spot. He
Unreal.
said Rooster Booster twice on stream. This is your spot. I'm putting it here. That's a seat. That's your seat, Retour. You come here anytime you're in Montreal. You hit me up. Serve you a couple of good drinks here. If someone says
Yeah.
Rooster Booster, I gotta support them. I bet on Elis, but you know what? We got fans. We gotta support the fans.
That is man.
It's
hard. I
want
like
this guy
Elis.
to win.
He's one of those guys I just don't really know that well, but I have like a couple good friends that are close to him. I just know he's a great guy, a great player, and it's easy to root for. But of course, the guy's never played a Super Millions event. His first ever entry, chip leader 3 left. It's hard not to go for him.
That's
also,
the
the
dream.
audience gets 100.
Yeah.
That's definitely a dream. The rare occasion. It's inspiring. It's aspirational. It's the whole deal. Appreciate everyone hitting that thumbs up. I will go ahead and queue up the giveaway soon. And we will greetings from Serbia. What's up, Serbia? See a lot of you in the chat. Hope you're enjoying. Let us know where you're watching from. We are in our respective places from our home setups, man. I don't really get stream setup envy. I made like a custom bookcase, but I like you got a lot going on there. It's nice lighting, the background. You got some props on the side. I like your setup for sure. It's it's nice to have a nice setup, right? It's good. It's good. Feels comfortable, fun, and I like the TV on in the back. That's nice too. Where is in your basement or office? What is that? It looks like a basement.
This is like the man cave that I built in my house. I love it. I've been streaming at it for like a year, but like it wasn't originally the plan. This is set up for like to have people over, hang out. Like there's the bar here where we like to host a lot of friends and family, and then on the other side, basically facing me is like couch TV area for sports events. And I actually will be moving my setup soon to my office because I don't like having my computer right in front of the bar and stuff. People come over. I'm like, oh, watch. Don't touch my camera. Don't touch my computer. So I think in the future I'm changing it up a lot. I'm going to be moving to the office, and then I'll only stream from here in like fun streams, I guess. I bought a laptop and everything just so that I have a less clutter and an easier way of streaming.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, this bar was a lot of work. So
I'm sorry, you're in Montreal, or which part of Canada?
Where
are you in?
I'm
which
from
part?
Montreal.
Very cool.
In the West Island.
I knew you were.
Yeah.
Very nice.
More of the English.
Very nice. Have you been going to Playground at all? Have you been there recently?
I actually haven't gone a single time since COVID, mostly because I only go for tournaments and they haven't had anything, and kind of sad about that. I'm hoping I can maybe work with GG on something there because I know they're affiliated. So maybe we'll try to do something for 2023 because I've been told by a lot of friends and a lot of like people on stream that they want to play tournaments, high stakes tournaments at Playground. Everyone, there's a huge demand. They just need to run the series. So I think kind of one of the goals of 2023 is try to get a big event back in there. Maybe if GG can run a series, do some online satellites, get like a 10K, 10 million again or something like that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got the right place for it. Everything sort of lines up and makes sense. It's an amazing venue. I know they were building a hotel and everything. Like I said before COVID, I was going 3 times a year. I love the guys there, JK, Phil Sabah, the whole team there. They do an amazing job. I was there when that first opened. Like I literally was there in March of I think 2012 or 13. It was no, it must have been 2012, and they didn't have that back room. They just had like the opening room, right? And they did like a promotion for Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Locke, where they did the dunk contest out in the cold, and like they were doing some last longer. I met them, we kind of chatted, and then later it was like November, and I came back and they had this like it's like a Costco in the back with tables and like the banners on the wall. It was crazy. They had the largest WPT I think ever or at the time or second largest or whatever, and they're like way over. It's like 1,180 entries or something, and I ended up getting third place for like 320,000 off of 3,500, and it was just like it was an epic run, and like I just ever since I played Premier League there the next year in November, got second in the 125K. So like that two of my bigger scores were there, and I love it there. And Montreal is just an unbelievable city, really unbelievable. Little bit of sauciness here. Ace deuce, ace five, both players out of line, and look at this look at the raise size, big one.
Really big raise. I went check. Basically saying he has more 8x in his range, but it does make a bit of sense. Let's my bet big on the river with an 8. Wait a second. They're saying there's big tournaments in Playground. I guess. Yeah, they do have some tournaments. Okay, good to know. I think I'm going to be in Vegas then, but yeah, what you're talking about, all those tournaments are back in the days were so good. I think I was in university at the time, and like I used to go for any tournament Playground, just like a Omega nerd of poker. Played all the tournaments there. Someone asked in chat earlier what was my biggest punt, and like it was literally in Playground. Made the final table. It was 1 million for first. I came in second in chips out of 8, and I finished 8th, and it was just like, yeah, really like hurt, really hurt. I think I was 22 or 23 at the time. Would have been a really different life situation if you lock up $1 million at the time. Yeah, it sucked, but bounced back from. I just kind of put it behind me, focused on school and real estate, but learned a lot from that experience. I think a lot of people, when they make these big final tables and they come short, they look back at it as a very negative thing, something they don't want to revisit or remember. But I always try to find the positive in anything. So that moment in my life initially was very tragic, I guess, but you it already happened. You got to just move on and just find a way to make it positive.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I improved my game a lot. I stopped punting.
Yeah, it's important. It's also important to have that gear to go for it, though, too, right? Instead of just like trying to get between 8th and 12th or 15th, like a lot of more often go for a win. So that's like it's tough to find tread the line between punting and being aggressive and dangerous. So I think that's something that takes some time and experience to get. We are going to announce the winner once we hit heads up, guys. If we get to 300 thumbs up, I will automatically make it $100. I mean, Elis is not on your guys' team in terms of the bonus, so it's dangerous. He's a guy that he's in second. Ray Tour is a little bit splashy. So, if you guys want to lock up the $100 giveaway instead of 50, let's get that to 300 thumbs up. But I will announce it here shortly. And Isakowski's been chip leader for a while. He's also right there, right? He's got 3.2 million. So,
yeah,
anyone's game. Ratour definitely seems willing and able to go for it, and he is still
Ratour has been
in
really
control.
aggressive. Since he won
Yep.
that flip,
Yeah.
he's just been playing a lot of pots and taking advantage of the situation. Very surprising to see, someone that hasn't played much and these stakes just kind of, whoa. This is a min 4 bet with queen 5 suited. This is gangster. All right, this guy's gonna win. This guy's just, he literally took a piece of paper, glued it on the screen where the fold button is, and he's just been piling through, just raise, aggression. Yeah, he's just going for it. It's nuts.
Yeah, he's separated himself. 8.7 million, definitely crowd favorite. Although Elis is,
Jeff, he just
the
4
sort of
bet queen
hustle
5 suited. It's crazy. Min 4 bet queen 5 suited, and he's just like, like Ilis is a super aggressive, crazy player, but like Ratour's like, hold my beer, buddy, because I'm gonna do better. Yeah, that guy's gonna win. This for sure. No, like, I mean, I just mean in terms of like the dynamic that like I'm seeing, he's not scared. This guy's not scared. I think when I put the mask on, he got the approval that the rooster god is on his side. He's like, all right, let's go. Going for it. Just gonna keep clicking buttons. I've seen Beriuzy punt on his stream. I'm gonna start punting too. Ooh, we might see some? No.
Ratour's in the Matrix. Jason Parker knows about the Matrix. Where we are, he is living it. He's living his best life right now. Shout out! He gave a shout out to the Rooster Booster fan club, and he's loving it. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? You get to have a memory. You're at the final table, commentated, 327 up top, playing with world class people. It's Chidwick and David Peters and Arthur. These Thomas in there as well, and these household names, and then here you are, 3-handed chip leader, putting in light 4 bets and having a whirlwind. Here he is, 3xing blind on blind, and Misakowski's got a nice hand here. He's got options to be just aggressive or take a flop. I think both have merit, but I definitely couldn't blame him for kicking it up all the way. He does that. Let's ship it in.
I think he should really flat. I think Misakowski has been going all in too much in some spots where he just dominates. I think
flatting
I'm just remembering the ace jack.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely profitable to shove, but when you have someone opening too wide, playing too aggressive, c-betting too much, and you have a hand like King 10 suited that can flop really well, generally just dominate a lot of, your opponent's range, just calling is much better. I think one thing I've noticed about Misakowski on this final table, he's just going all in a bit too much against ranges that, he doesn't benefit from, folding them out. Jack 4, my boy. Let's go.
That's hilarious. He was watching the Club GG. Club GG commercial, man. I mean, that's for the memes. For Robbie. Wow, legend. That's strong. In a big spot too, That's like he's literally putting on the line like a lot of EV there. That is respect, man. He didn't tune out at the break. The Club GG, man. Wow. So sick.
What an absolute legend. Man, Ricky's proud. Ricky's super proud of this guy. Squeeze Ricky in here. Look at him. We got the nod of approval from Ricky. He's just really happy to see that. What a masterclass of just aggression from this guy. Min 4 betting Queen 5, 3 betting Jack 4. Unbelievable. Absolute legend. I'm like honored to commentate on the final table with this guy. We said it like right in the beginning. I'm like, there's a wild card here that no one knows anything about it, and he's lost his mind. He's like, yep, gonna take it. Just gonna own everyone.
What was the line on him to win? What was his stack at? He had to be an unknown, never played.
16.5.
Wow. To win, to outright
16.5 to
win.
1. Yeah. So if you, man,
Wow.
how did I not pick that? I bet on everyone except him. Now I feel like an idiot.
Well, it's
Had
not
I
over,
known that he
but he
makes these
is.
type of plays, man, that's 16.5. He had the worst odds that I remember. And I like looked him up and I'm like, oh, I've never seen this guy before. And I saw that his cashes were very small. I think 100K or something total lifetime. I was like, yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Might be really scared, but no, he's been really putting on pressure on this final table. Which is actually like, if you think about it, it's really smart that maybe, I mean, he clearly is watching maybe the stream. We gotta assume if he's doing Rooster Booster and Jack 4 off and stuff. So he might have heard that like this whole table is just a bunch of crushers. He might not have known that, but the best strategy against really good players is not to be scared, right? It's the complete opposite. And that's what he's been doing. He's been playing really aggressive, going for every spot, very creative lines, and it's worked so far. Like he's actually gotten it to work a bunch of times.
Yep.
Commanding spot to be in right now.
Yeah, so Elis has actually not won a Super Millions, and Misakowski has won season 1 once. So yeah, this is potentially making for a new Super Millions champion, which is always exciting. Not always the case, and that is definitely a very likely possibility today.
We got a very interesting three-way hand here, where all hands, like, it could have been all in pre, could have deuces could have squeezed, 9-8 suited could have shoved against the open. All right, we got apparently retours in the chat here.
Is he in there?
Interesting. Let's see. He's saying, yeah, there's someone in chat saying that's him and that he's gonna contact us on Discord to prove it. I mean, I don't think someone would fake that and then double down, say they can prove it. Here comes. What do we think? I have a feeling it's gonna be like a 1.1 million bet, and it gets through. Whoa, what? Just goes for. This is actually like such an annoying spot for Elis because it looks like such a value bet.
Yeah, it's also bluffing great players. Definitely more can happen more. But look at this guy's just too good. He knows he beats some 3x. He also has there's some 7x. He beats a lot of hands there, and does decide to go for it.
It's tough because it's
Goes for the
flat
call.
from the small blind, so hard to find bluffs. But yeah, I mean, if you're getting too good of a price, I think if you went a bit bigger, it would definitely work.
Well, we are in the territory now of 3 hours coming up on that. So this is one of the longer streams. We've seen some, again, just always fun. Final tables are always fun, but this has definitely been a unique final table. Some very cool mix of some of the greats, the live crushers, the online legends, the most decorated Super Millions crusher. We got a first timer, Ray Tor, here going for the win, and we have got a little everything, and we appreciate all of you at home watching. Thank you so much. We got 1,100 plus, and we do have a giveaway, a $50 or $100 ticket. Once again, heads up, I'll announce it. Appreciate everyone who put it in there. If you do type Beriuzy space GG space your username or a friend's username, whoever you'd want to win that ticket, we will select a winner, and it will be either $50 or $100, unless it's 100 unless Elis wins, because you guys had 3 of the 6 remaining. He was one you didn't get, and he is all in with 3. He's going to push it in, take it down.
Yeah, I mean, pretty long stream, but Jeff, it's my fault. I apologize. I drag on when my streams are running, so all my fault. Every time I
No
plan an
worries.
8-hour stream, ends up being a 14-hour stream. Like, oh god, had that happen too many times. Oh, got a Ritter raised pre-flop against the limp. You know, he's been c-betting a lot in these spots.
Oh, 9-10 suited going nowhere. Still has the best hand. Probably doesn't know it. Hard to have the best hand, but there is possibly does have the diamond flush draw, and now a5 off does turn a
Yeah.
gut shot. Got to believe, based on our friend Ray Torre with that card, this situation likely gonna be continuing on the
Always
story.
right.
But let's see what he does. Goes for the big boy bet. Wow.
Big boy bet, indeed.
And
Geometrical
this
sizing,
sizing
setting up river
is
shove.
going to be,
Elis has, yeah, tough spot for
yeah.
Elis.
I'm not used to the 3 hours. I was programmed for streaming for so many years, so many the hour online breaks to go to the restroom every hour. So yeah, we've been on for 3 hours with no break other than the Jack 4 GG Club GG promos. So how do you do it? Do you stream when you take your breaks every hour? I mean, do you feel that way when you're not streaming after streaming a long time that you do have to use the restroom like every hour? Has that ever happened to you or no?
Yeah, actually, I have a very good bladder, but for some reason, when I stream every hour, I'm like, oh my god, like I have to go pee, but
Yeah,
it doesn't make
yeah, it's like a
sense.
program.
When I travel, I literally go 12 hours without ever, going to the bathroom. Makes no sense. But
Well, the blinds are up
I
to
think it's more of
200.
a mental thing. You
Right. Yeah, no, you kind of get
oh,
programmed, right? You're just like, oh, I have a chance to
yeah.
go now, I go. Or if you kind of have to go, you go. But yeah, blinds are at 100K, 200K. So a little bit of a spicy turn. Everyone's got something now. Top pair, King 10, known as the taxi cab 5-6 off, is open ended. So definitely a candidate to be betting with, one of the worst hands, but a nice open ended. Although there is a lot of money on the line. They have about the same stack. Does he want to take a stand here and go for it? Let's see what he comes with. And if he does come, will it be a big sizing? I think it is. There it is, 956.
Ooh,
But this particularly
really
will
big
not
sizing.
work because he's telling a story that
Yeah.
Elis has. And now improvement to two pair, blocks the flush, but 5-6 has a diamond in one of the worst hands possible. So this could be a formula for some sort of bluff. But let's see. Elis is going to be up for the
Gonna go
task.
for
Almost
it.
certainly. A
Feels
lot of
like he's
money in
gonna
the
go
middle.
for it. I mean, he shows up with one of the worst hands. He has a diamond blocker, unblocks Queen X. That, oh man, yeah, that's it. GG.
Wow, snap call.
Huge.
Snap call.
Oh yeah, gotta snap. Can't fold that. GG Muskowski.
How
Went
big a
for it
difference
in
does it make?
style.
Yeah, there it is. Number 77 overall on GG Super Millions with 6 million overall on GG. Nice score for the man there. Was chip leader for a decent portion. Going to settle for the bronze. Third place, 201,000 coming his way. Nice work. And we will choose the winner here in a second. And you guys, I got to make you sweat actually, since there's 220 thumbs up and it's either going to be 50 or $100. And Elis is not on your guys' side. So he's a more experienced player. And I'm gonna let it run for a bit. If we get to 300, I'll guarantee you guys 100. And King 4 suited. Oh, Elis is out of time bank, ladies and gentlemen. He is officially out of time bank with that. That is a
Ooh.
big advantage for Ray Torre. That's an interesting thing. We've only seen a couple times happen here, and we are gonna see now though. King 4 suited. This could be a big pot right away. 7-5 gonna come speeding out. King 4 suited certainly gonna stick around. And we are wow. So this could be a fast one. This could be a fast one because he
This
does
might,
turn a pair.
yeah. This guy's been
Goes.
the min bet. This guy's got.
Oh my goodness! Who
Wow,
is
just
this
runners
man?
it.
Who is this guy?
Getting that thin value to set up the runner trips.
Wow.
Wow. That's like real greedy. That's real greedy. See if Eilish calls. No, good fold,
Big
Eilish.
bet. Yeah, maybe. I mean, what
Oh,
a
he said
misclick
misclick
turn.
turn.
might have just worked out. Maybe it cost himself a bit of money actually.
Yeah, I think river was too greedy that size, but I mean, it's hard to think of what he's supposed to do when he misclicks turn.
It's interesting this dynamic now with the no shot clock. Very rare. Um, very rare, right? That
Yeah,
this happens where you don't have any time.
I've had this happen really often while I was on stream because when you're streaming, you kind of have like this necessity to explain the hands. And I end up taking, in a spot where I'm going to snap call the river, I'll just take 20, 30 seconds just to explain my thought process. And then I get heads up and I have no time bank. And I always regret that. It happened last month when I was heads up for I think 80K or something. It's like a pretty big final table. And I just had no time bank. And I was streaming. There's like 2,000 people watching. And I'm like stressing because, I like to explain a lot of things, but you can't when you have no time bank. It's a really crappy spot for Islas to be in. Oh. All right. Oh. Islas gonna lose a big one here.
Yep. Queen 7. He is going to
Yeah.
bet. Ace 6. He is. Go ahead. Does Reitor have the patience here to call with the nut 6? Even Jack Queen, he would block if an ace came. I mean, just like what you just feel like you should just call. But let's see. Does he click it? Maybe clicks it. Just based on how he plays,
Yeah, he's
kind
been
of
playing a bit
unconventional
of
a bit.
gangster poker for sure.
And
I
if you're
think
Elis, do you
Islas
just
just shuts
do you
down
shell it
here.
here? Do you think he shuts down with the king as a scare card versus the 10? It's close. Yep. All right, you're right. He does shut it down. And I
Yeah.
am going to announce the yeah.
Commanding lead for our boy. 3-1 chip lead. Absolute animal.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm putting the instructions for the giveaway. It's not too late. We'll lock up 100 guaranteed if we hit the 300 thumbs up by the time this is over. And I will select a winner. And we are going to play to the winner here, guys. We're getting to it. And we are in uncharted waters. Maybe the longest stream. It's up there. I don't know officially on record for mine. I think it's around my 25th GG Super Millions. And it is
Long.
3 hours is like, that there's definitely been like less than 3 that have hit 3 hours. So maybe we're flirting with the record, if not already there. But at least it's a guest that knows his way around the stream. It's you're a veteran. This is nothing, right? This is a short Twitch stream for you. This is
Yeah. Oh, this is. I haven't had my bathroom break. I've been holding it in for 3 hours. So this is a bit usually have the 5-minute break, but I have not left the stable. I can't. I left just because my dog was barking and I had to go tell her to shut up. As if she would listen,
yeah.
but gotta try.
Well, this is now Ray Torres closing in 9-10 suited versus Tendusto. He has the advantage. We are hitting those thumbs up. I see people coming in for the giveaway at the end, chirping up, and we are going to see if we can get it done. The no time bank is definitely a disadvantage, right? The 5 seconds per shot
For
per
sure,
decision.
yeah.
It's
Especially
a
when the
big
other guy
deal.
has 4 minutes. Yeah, for sure, it's really frustrating. Playing for $70,000, Retour has he don't care. Honey Badger don't care. He's this is definitely going for it. The check raise not gonna work here when you play it. Oh yeah, it's just you are playing the board with 10 high, sir.
Yep. And this is not a man that likes to wave the white flag, not a give up guy, but at the same token here, you know, sometimes you can't win every pot, but let's see. Maybe he doesn't adhere to that. Could he just go for it? Does he ever just go for it? Wow. He went for it, the jugular. And this is actually insane because the queen or the jack wins it. And maybe he just has, wow, that is.
Oh my Lord. And he shows the deuce. Look. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Gotta do it again. Gotta. We gotta give it to him. It's unbelievable what he's doing. This level of aggression is insane. It's crazy. He's basically repping a jack, I guess. And Eilers just has a king X that just like cry fold, but wow. Man, this is like some of the most dominating amateur, you know, like we don't know. This guy might be someone who just like relocated and is like, you know, high stakes crusher or something, just plays a different style. We don't really know, but he's been playing super solid.
Yeah, this is sick. King 4 suited. We're right here, guys. I am going to go ahead and pick the winner. I'm going to give it. We didn't quite get to 300, and I am. What do you call it? Let me see here. I got the winner. Let me just double check here because this is. I mean, guys, it's $50 or $100. It looks like. I mean, at the moment, it's leaning towards 100. I'm just finding. Let me get this number. So it is. I'm in the chat. The problem is when they don't know. Sometimes they're not here. There it is. Lewis Kerr, congrats. You won. It will be 50 or 100. So there's the winner. Announce it there, and we are going to see here as it gets down. I mean, this is short. He's betting in here. Does Ray Torres, is he enough? Does he feel good enough here with this? Does he take a stand? Does he call? Does he shove? What does he do here? Does he want it? He does call, and a pretty safe river card, non-diamond, non-straightening card for the most part, other than ace 5 or 5-6. And he is going to check it over. And Elis, does he want to shell it off, or does he save the 1.7? And does it work if he shoves? There's so many questions. Let's see what happens. And he does go for it, man. Ray Torres. Does he call and be the champion, or does this match go on?
This guy wants to win in style. Wait, he limped pre-Alice? Doesn't have that many king X? I mean, he still has some king X. Yeah, he has. Pretty tough spot. I have a feeling where Tour wants to win in style. Like, he might call here more than he should. And God, it'd be sick. Really tough spot.
Wow.
Oh, he makes it.
Wow. That is so sick. And Elis gives him the good game. What a moment. It is a big moment on the Super Millions. Legendary performance. What a moment. 327,000 going to the man. And wow, so many questions, so much to talk about. This was a record. This was almost 3 hours, 15 minutes. We saw it all. We saw big bluffs. We saw big calls, big moments, big time players. And my man, first ever entry into the GG Super Millions. Not sure if he satellited, bought in. He went for it. Showed the Jack 4 off bluff, 3-handed, all in. Was put on the line, got the win. Any takeaways? Beriuzy, tell me.
I'm just in disbelief. You saw those names? He just, 6 unbelievable pros in that lineup, and he just absolutely roostered that table, just dominated everyone with aggression, got people to overfold and made some ridiculous calls. Really well played, and really good to see an unknown win it for once.
It's honestly, that was exciting. Like, if you're 3 hours, you're kind of lagging around, it's dragging. Like, that is a way to finish a big hero call versus a world-class player for all the money, all the sherbet, and now he is a champion of the Super Millions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congrats to the giveaway winner. Congrats to our friend that won the tournament. Congrats to all the final tablists. We'll see you next week. Big names, big guests, big prizes. We'll see you next week.